It's not the pastor that I said in the group, is it? The one that said this. I'm sorry. This is what the pastor said, yeah?
Well, money come to me now.
No, this is fantastic. This is what the pastor said, yeah? He said, if you die.
If you get to heaven, write this down. You get to heaven and you don't find me there. You have gone to hell.
That's a lie. That's a lie. He's official. He is official.
He's the greatest. I don't care what anyone says. How can I not tell you that? I'm sorry. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents and small insects, welcome to another episode of the Eloquently Saying Nothing podcast. This is episode 69, hashtag ESN pod on all your social medias, and you can find us at ESN podcast everywhere you may be destined to find us. I am Stavros Boss, and in the room with me tonight, I have Simple Simon.
Yo. Simple Simon, they are in our place.
And across from Simple Simon, we have Mr. Wolf.
Hey, what's going on, people? Missed you guys last week.
Was you? Yeah, you weren't there last week, was you?
No, I wasn't there. But I got a Yoruba proverb, as I do. If one does not urinate on a single spot.
So
was I there last week?
Yeah, you was there last week. It was the week before.
The week before?
Yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah, if one does not urinate on a single spot, the urine won't foam. We know that, right? Be focused.
Hang on a minute. A Yoruba proverb talks about urination on a single spot.
Yes. If one does not urinate on a single spot, the urine won't foam.
Why is the urine foaming?
If you're focused.
Oh, you want it to foam? I was thinking that's a bad thing. Spread it out, but now I realize they want. Yeah, the foam is good. Okay, cool, no problem.
The proverb is telling you to be and remain focused.
Yes, there's the prize. Aim for it.
That's it.
And also, we have that actor.
How am I a villain? When it's advice I give honest and free. Probable to think and indeed the cause to win the more again. For it is most easy disinclining Desdemona to ensuing any honest suit. His soul is so unfitted to her love that she may make or unmake to this list. Divinity of hell. So is it wrong for me to counsel Cassius upon this madness of this woman? The day will come when I will unleash the net, to enmesh them all. What's going on, people? It's your boy, the actor. I'm up in the building. How we doing? Good?
Yeah.
That's Shakespeare, yeah?
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out which one. Hold on. Last week.
Othello.
Yeah, that's, yes. Thank you.
You got one!
Go on.
And it went back to the future.
Nah,
I knew it was the one with the black. I was just trying to remember which one's got the black again.
That's the one I done in school.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a speech. I
South
modified it a little.
South London good for something.
They teach them one thing.
Yeah, because we did no Shakespeare with
Othello.
mine. Oh, we did
and
actually.
now we've done another one.
I won't lie to you. I don't want to disrespect you now, but I kind of feel like you threw a guess at that one. Because it was either Hamlet or Othello you were going to say in your head, didn't it? Tell the truth.
There's something that sparked me when he said a few words.
It resonated with his spirit.
Yeah.
All right.
That just brought back memories.
I won't judge.
Does it touch you? Does it resonate with you?
I got kicked off the play, you know. I got kicked
How'd you get kicked off a play?
Because I was talking. Maybe the woman didn't like me.
Isn't that your job to talk?
Mrs. Erna, bitch.
Wow.
She picked on the black.
Shots fired
Yeah,
at Mrs.
man.
Erna.
Yeah, man.
I was the only black and they kicked me out.
No,
You know, I never read Othello.
I ain't read no Shakespeare, apart from no Shakespeare.
You never read Macbeth?
That's
No.
another one that we
Macbeth is the gunman.
I'll need to read them
Macbeth
all.
is a
Yeah.
I need to read them all.
Macbeth is the gunman book. That's the book right there. I
Do
like that
we
one.
believe the myth or whatever it is, the truth that he didn't write any of those? that he had a ghostwriter and the ghostwriter was black.
A black woman as well.
Yeah.
A
And
woman.
a black woman.
A woman.
Raw.
Do we believe that?
If you look at some of his work, it's only if you know the man himself, but you can tell there's a lot of
Do you know the man?
he's a veteran, isn't it? You can tell that there's a lot of femininity in his writing.
Okay. Because that was written during the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
And the Dark Ages, as they say, was run by the world was run by black people.
Is that why they called it the Dark Ages?
That's why they called it the Dark Ages.
Where's this conspiracy stuff coming from, bruv?
That's a conspiracy,
not.
right?
I thought it was called the Dark Ages because they didn't have no light.
Nah, bruv.
So like Nigeria's in the Dark Ages right now, Nepa and all that.
Well, if you want to put light and Dark Ages together, then yeah. But no, it was called the Dark Ages because black people were ruling the world all over, from Greece to Rome to England.
Did you see this picture?
King James was black. Did you know that?
Hang on,
Apparently it was,
whoa. What?
All right.
When you say black, do you mean like he had the one drop or was
They say
No,
he had some blackness in him.
His hue was mixed.
so he was mixed? This one drop
Wasn't fully black.
Listen,
Who? King James.
Yeah.
No, the black man.
can I?
He's not fully black, you know.
There's a reason why you could say he's black. A couple of reasons.
Go on.
Well, one, he wanted to marry more than one woman in it. So that's
The stereotype, though.
and because he was so religious and you couldn't do that in the Christianity at the time, man wrote his own Bible. So come on, man, this sounds like a black man to me.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't like no king.
It sounds like a Muslim in disguise.
Well,
You don't see this picture of the Moors and the whites in Portugal. I can't remember what it
Moors
was
during
called.
the Dark Ages.
No, the Moors wasn't during the Dark Ages.
They ran for, even. Let me try to remember the.
Don't
dates
let me draw for Google. Draw for the Google right now,
Draw for
please.
the Google, man.
And Dark Ages, and then talk about the Moors. No, bro.
Just the dates we're looking for. Yeah.
The Moors did
Anyway,
not
go on.
represent the Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages, you know. This man just took it there, bro.
It depicts.
You know, watch him. You know, in the Jurassic Age, the black man was running. That's what they call it, the Jurassic Age.
why is it-
Because they think he's savage.
man was drastically running.
Yeah, he was Jurassic Age.
Another reason why
Drastic age.
the Middle Ages are often called the Dark Ages is because compared with other areas, historians don't know as much about this time. In some ways, this period of time has been lost to history.
Yeah, but they're not going to tell you, are they?
What?
No, I don't expect it to be on
That
Google.
is
That is
the
the kind of thing that they
full-
will not tell you.
That is the full conspiracy
That is
theorist
the
answer.
main flipping part of history they don't want you to know.
You have
about.
made my day today. bro.
Just
Come
remember,
on now, I know a little bit
according to
better than
them, that our history started like 250 years ago. So, we
Well,
have done
you know
our own
actually-
digging.
Sorry, it does say that the Dark Ages is a period of time which shows that the demographic, the cultural, and the economic deterioration occurring in Western Europe and the Roman Empire. So you could say that with the decline of the Oibos, maybe that means that there is a rise of something else.
Oh,
Maybe.
So there were a lot of darkies in them times.
a lot of darkies, mate.
Who knows?
Because funny enough, the woman that's about to marry this Prince Harry, she's not the first dark royal.
No, of course no. We know that.
But a lot of people don't know
Not
these
the
things.
first
Bro.
outside the dark royal, but we already know that we've got black queens in the royal family, and they've just been.
And who
pushed
can
to the
remember
side.
the article about a couple of months ago, where they had proof that the first people in Britain were black, and funny enough, they put blue eyes on a black man.
Yeah, when they recreated the face, didn't they?
Yeah. But they had to throw in the blue eyes
Well, they had to, innit?
just
they
to
don't wanna-
give them a little
Give
something.
them a little something. Let's help you out here.
They proved it as fact.
What do they call him? George or something? That the recreation of the.
Imagine
of the
that,
face.
they called him George.
Called him Black George or something.
Have any of you watched the film Belle?
That's the story about
With the
Queen.
very fine
Google.
Oh, what's it? Yeah, Google.
Who?
Google.
Who?
Oh my
With
days.
who? What's her name?
She's a Ghanaian.
Oh, for real.
Yeah, Google. Mabatha Raw. Mbetha.
She'd get it
In-
raw
in
as
Betha.
well. Sorry.
And so it's a story of one of these black princesses or duchesses or whatever it is.
She
But
was a
part of the.
princess.
I don't think it. Well, let me check. Let me check before I just.
I know
open
Pushkin
my
was
eyes.
black in Russia.
Pushkin.
Yeah.
Is
Vladimir.
Yeah. No, is it Vladimir? Was it Vladimir Pushkin or is it Alexander Pushkin? I can't remember. The poet one, the famous one. I know he was black.
There you go.
He's considered to be the father of the Russian language, actually.
Serious?
The character Gugu was portraying, she was a daughter of.
Oh wow!
Is it the king?
Google look good.
Yeah, she was the illegitimate daughter.
Not
of
Google.
No,
Google.
Google.
Not Google.
Golf. Uniform. Golf. Uniform. Google.
She was born in apparently the West Indies. And Mansfield's nephew, whoever Mansfield is, I don't know my English history. Can I ask you something? Last week, I know what the.
What you're talking to?
I'm talking to you, the actor.
And
Last
she's in
week,
Black Mirror.
Yes.
Which one is she in again?
I can't remember which one.
Okay, but she's.
Oh, it's the one it's the dating one. You know where they.
Oh yeah. And she's in that film where she's a singer as well. Anyways, she's a good actress.
Living for the Light or Blinded by the Light or
Simon,
something.
best luck to her.
She's in Will Smith's film. But anyway, carry on, sorry.
That actor has been doing, when he first started doing these monologues, he came with books and he was reading it off it, and we were laughing at him we were praising him for writing the whole thing down, and he said he's learning. Now the past few weeks he's been doing it off the top of the dome, so well done, congratulations on studying and learning these things. Last week now you did something, and I know the film, but up to now I still can't place it. So can you just tell me? I was going to check it, but I thought, no, let me wait and ask you. Can you tell me?
It was from the film The Golden Child.
Oh, yes! It's because I ain't seen that film in so long.
Yeah.
Her reaction made me laugh.
And the thing is,
man.
there were just two monologues. And I didn't want to choose the one that everybody would get.
I want the knife. Please.
What's the one that everyone would get?
My brother Numsi.
Yeah. Everyone, I've stolen from my brother Numsi.
I should be punished.
I should be
purged.
purged. Officer. Yeah, that one.
Okay. All right, I get it now. All right. So let's. Anything you want to guys talk about before we get started?
This week has been full of crud.
A lot of stuff is happening. We're recording on a Thursday. Big Wahala is overseas. He's not with us.
You know, man told us to phone him. You know.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let me check.
He did say, yeah, for me when you started. Yeah, he's like, bruv, enjoy your holiday.
Exactly. Man don't know how to enjoy his holiday, bruv.
He's one of them Brits, you know, that wants to know what's going on back home.
Nah.
Okay, then. All right. Okay, cool.
He's a man that finds.
I'll tell him to call in now.
Bruv, I'm sure he's had a full English every morning.
The first thing he does when he goes on holiday is look for the Wi-Fi, boy. That's the first thing he does. It's the very, very first thing he does. He don't care
after the buffet.
No, he doesn't care where he's sleeping. He doesn't care about any of that. He's just, where is the Wi-Fi? And I'm just like, what's wrong with you, bro? I need it. I was like, come on.
And the football.
Mr. Wahala, we have a hammock for you. Is there Wi-Fi? Is there Wi-Fi?
Is there Wi-Fi? I just give me Wi-Fi. Give me Wi-Fi.
Franco.
I don't understand people that go on holiday.
Wi-Fi and Franco.
I don't understand people that go on holiday and want to live the same life that they live.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to detach. Yeah. You got to detach yourself and just...
It's like the time when we went to Brazil and these men wanted to go to the shopping mall. Why?
It's him, innit? It's him. He was walking everywhere.
I don't mind walking everywhere. I don't mind that.
But he wanted to go to the shopping mall.
You want to go to Tesco?
I go to the shopping mall wherever I can. Wherever country I go to the shopping mall. I go into the bush. I go into the... I'm a city bud, so I like city life.
I'll tell you this, yeah? I'll tell you this now, yeah? Once upon a time, I would have agreed with you. But you see how global capitalism works now?
Global who?
Global capitalism. The way it works, yeah? The way it works now, there is no difference between Westfield and a big shopping mall in another country. The same fucking shops, excuse my Spanish, are in...
I would have to go there and find out for myself.
Yeah,
and it's not like when we went there, what's them flip-flops that everyone went mad over?
Havanas.
Yeah, Havanas. They were so cheap and people, like, I wasn't even going to buy one because
that's where they originate.
That's where they're made.
Yeah, but
that's like going to Ireland and saying, oh, the Guinness is so cheap. It's fucking made there. That's what you expect.
Yes, but then if I can buy it for £5 there and over here it costs 40 and everyone's like, is that how cheap it is? And then people went and bought it for their missus because it's so cheap. So
you
they're like, I
could
went
get
and
the
bought
Havanas in every shop. You didn't need to go to the shopping mall.
Exactly.
We didn't go to the shopping mall for Havanas.
Exactly.
Why? When we went to that corner shop where the girl was nice.
I don't remember that shop.
Mr.
don't
Wolf
remember?
was wrong.
Does anybody remember that shop?
Where was it?
It was a little ways down the road from our hotel.
We got the little toothpaste and all these stuff from there.
Oh yeah, I remember the shop you're talking about.
I remember we was all looking at the woman and the woman was saying, "Oh, we don't like the British tourists because they look at us like we're sex objects."
Oh, and we were all there looking at her like,
they're gawking her.
Yeah. But
I don't remember.
You don't
I don't
that?
remember.
I remember
the
that.
only thing that I thought was good that we did over there that I was like,
The
okay.
only thing, you know,
No, not the only thing, but I mean like of your sightseeing stuff, because that's going to the shopping mall. I just didn't understand it. I didn't get
you
it.
didn't man have to come. In fact, I was trying to get rid of you people. In fact, I did get rid of you people.
No,
And
I'm
then
not
what did I
looking
do
for that
after?
reason.
After I went to the shopping mall and I got rid of you, man, what did I do? I went to the favelas. So I went about.
The only thing that I could say, well, the thing that I
You
could
went
say,
to the favelas.
Yeah, well, kind of
We
like over
met
and
him
under.
minute at the.
What is that when we all went to the cross?
No, I
He
took-
went in.
yeah.
he went.
We
to
was
the,
at the stairs.
yeah, he took the overcart. He did that thing where when you go to the zoo and you look at the animals for the cage. He did that. That's what he
He
did.
went in the cage.
What, when we was on the stairs?
No,
No. That's
no.
that part. That's not the
Another
hood.
time.
Yeah.
I need to go back to Brazil.
The thing that you did that was good
Really?
was when we went to the underground. We went to the metro.
Yeah.
I fully support that. I fully
Yeah,
support
yeah,
that.
for real.
Everywhere I go, I did the
because we
metro
went,
as well.
we went our separate ways because we went to the football stadium, innit?
Yeah.
And you went shopping.
No, but
and
I went.
whatever.
No, we all went to the underground. Why are you smiling for? Why are you smiling for?
Yeah.
Because we went our separate ways.
We did go
you
our
know?
separate ways. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Let's not talk
There's a
about
voice keeps on calling me.
that. It was good
So
times.
yeah,
man.
what's so good about the underground then? All right, for instance, there were sections there where it was women only carriages.
Yeah, that was wicked.
I didn't know about all that stuff before I went there.
The reason why I like it, yeah, and I didn't realize that it's something that I unconsciously do as well. I go to other people's to see what their metro and their underground is like.
Oh, I do it everywhere.
Because I think that the London Underground is shit. Yeah,
Excuse
no,
me.
it's shit. I think it's shit.
Compared to everything else,
Well, it's
it's,
shit.
it's not as
Senior,
good.
senior
But
test.
it's the first one.
Yeah, no problem.
Everybody learned of. It's like you being the oldest child and making the mistakes, and all the siblings beneath you excel in that thing that you flopped in.
What, a
And
train
then-
coming every 30 seconds to 1 minute? It's shit.
No, you see, that's
Bro,
it.
go to other metros.
Go to
and you'll
other
see.
metros
They'll
and
be
you-
cleaner.
So
They'll
how-
be smoother.
so how about the
the
one in
phone
Brazil?
system works.
You were there.
Yeah.
Didn't you got on it?
It's
Yeah, I
better.
went on there.
Yeah, that was
Is it
wicked.
better?
Of course, it was.
You can walk through the carriages the whole way. Bruv,
It was better, man. The carriages is
like
wider.
even the women's only carriages because
during work hours, women's only carriages.
yeah,
so that man can't rub up on.
during the peak time, innit? Yeah,
Come on, bruh.
Because you
That's
know
brilliant.
every woman knows they've
That
been through
men
that men
do
do
that.
little rub up thing,
Especially
touching
women
thing.
in Brazil.
No, I don't think it's a special.
No, but second
It
force,
took a second to drop there.
because they'll be dressed. But I'll tell you what, though, bro. they'll be dressed in a way still. Slut walkers, hell. But anyway, you know, I think there's some women that like it.
Oh no, I'm not going there. I'm just saying.
No, but
I'm just saying.
I think there are.
I'm not going there. I'm
I'm
just
just
saying,
saying.
the underground had air conditioning. The carriages were
Yeah,
bigger.
aircon.
There was place to sit. Your phone worked down there. Come on, bro.
24 hours. A lot of them in them places.
Think about it. What's
like
the
New York.
two worst metro systems in the world?
New
in the
York.
Western world. New York, I think, is one, definitely.
I've never been on that.
Filthy,
I've
disgusting.
been to New York, but the thing with New York is again they learn as well because they run parallel lines. So if one of them goes down, they have dual tracks. The second one, I'm not even a train fan, but I know these dropping miscellaneous information. The second one will run. So even stuff like that, they learn. Don't make one track, make two. Because if one breaks, then you can at least use the second one.
My problem
Still
isn't the way that the
It's dirty, that's all, but it
It's
runs.
just
my,
dirty.
my
It's
problem
just
is
dirty.
it isn't the way that the
And the
underground
seats.
is necessarily. My problem is the promotion behind it. Yeah, suggests that it's one of the best in the world, and it's not. You can't even get fucking Wi-Fi all over the system.
Barcelona's the one.
You get that Wi-Fi on tracks.
Barcelona's.
Yeah,
Barcelona
Barcelona is
heavy.
wicked.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
You get
You've done Russia in one, innit?
yes,
Yeah.
Moscow.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Moscow Underground Metro is like a whole town.
Wow.
It's like a whole town, bruv. They've got chandeliers in the fucking station.
Yeah.
Come on,
I
bro.
remember you sent pictures when you were there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Lisbon and Portugal, their underground's very nice.
Imagine I'm in between.
Maybe I need to do
I'm
more
in between
traveling.
stations and I'm on the phone talking underground.
Just one time.
No, one time, no long time.
They're gonna do that with the London Underground now as well.
Oh, okay, great.
Eventually.
Eventually,
Yeah, but like I said, they were the first ones. These other people.
Yeah, but
are
but the
learning.
technology side with the Wi-Fi, that's slacking, bruv. Because when it comes to other tech,
don't go
the
to Wi-Fi.
UK is all
Don't go
right.
to Wi-Fi. Go to the air circulation system. Look at that. Like,
Yeah, but their ones were built with that in mind. So there's certain tunnels like you just can't do it on the British Underground. You can't because
too late.
the way the tunnels were built, you can't do it.
so
So them other tunnels were built where they
That's
had
'cause
ventilation in mind.
It runs along with the sewage system, doesn't it?
I don't even know. All I know is that there's no ventilation.
places
for-
like
there's no way.
Crossrail.
There's no way for the heat to go. Basically,
that for me
Mm.
doesn't necessarily have to be a big issue, innit? But why's the fare going up every year and nothing ain't changing? Don't
Because
fuck with my
because the
life.
service is wonderful.
Every year. It's like £40 now for travel card or whatever it is. The service ain't getting any better.
It's,
Well, you got
it's
24-hour
very
service.
expensive. Yes.
You got a 24-hour service.
What? Just now? on Fridays and Saturdays.
It's progressing.
What? Come on now. How slow do you want to be now? Come on now. This is the time of internet. I tell you what, this country is shit at a lot of things.
Excuse me, español, señor,
Domestic internet, yeah. What's the highest speed you can get at domestic internet now? How many megabits is it? 100 or something like that?
I don't know.
Virgin?
No, I mean more than that, man. It must be.
No, for domestic.
It must be. Well, I know Virgin do 100.
Virgin do 100. I think that's the highest that I know of, yeah, currently for domestic internet. I'm going to give you a joke now, yeah. Way back in 2000 and Shagpile, where is it? We are 18 now.
I'm going to talk about Singapore or something.
No, not even Singapore. That's what makes it even so disgusting. Romania. Yeah. I worked with a man back in 2009 or something like that who lived in Romania, and he had 100 megabit to his yard, and he couldn't understand for the life of him why this internet was so slow here
and
in 2009, bruv. And we talk like our country's some big great thing.
Yeah,
it's nonsense, bruv.
It's a myth.
Listen,
over here, man.
the Commonwealth meeting happened, and the Queen was there to tell you people that are part of the Commonwealth. Yeah, thank you very much.
Crossrail, which is opening up soon,
the
is going to be badass apparently.
Yeah, because
with all the ventilation and
it wants to be. I told you that. I tell you what, it wants to be.
It
wants to be because I need to see where my money's been going. This increase that's been happening every flipping year.
Calm down.
No, I can't calm down because when you get
he's turned into a proper Englishman.
No, because when you
think travel system.
No, because when you think about it, man's got to use it to go to work.
Man's got to start talking about the BBC license fee in a minute.
No, man's got. I'm coming to that. So man's got to go to work, innit? Well, you know, for guarantee, you get round to autumn, and then they tell you that the trains ain't running because there's a leaf on the track. A fucking leaf!
No, it's true, bro. It's true, man. A little bit of bad weather and the underground goes to pop, bro.
Listen to this, yeah?
Go back to the steam age. Man's have to throw coal into the steam.
Trust me, bro.
Leaves and a little bit of snow, bro.
And yeah, snow happens and the whole everywhere shuts down. How can that be possible? How can we have snow as often as we've had snow?
Even not just for just
generally. We have snow as often as we've had snow, and then everything shuts down. Whose life is this? What's going on?
The system isn't set up for it.
Yeah, but not the underground. I'm talking about generally now.
No, I'm talking about this the system.
The system of what?
Listen, because Britain, England is such an old society. Yeah, a lot of the things you're looking at, a lot of the roads you drive down, they started hundreds and hundreds of years ago. You go to certain other places, so a lot of times people will talk about Canada and say, "Oh, Canada, they deal with the snow. They get extreme heat and then extreme cold, and they deal with both ends." Yeah, when there's a bit of snow, it all gets moved out. But their society started many years after the English society. They were able to have equipment and certain things set up so that they could deal with these things once they started. Britain, when it started, they didn't have any tools to do with nothing, and they just built on top of what they had and built on top of what they have. You know, like when you have a road and they repave the road. Yeah, what do? They just put more stuff on top in it. They don't do anything with the stuff underneath is underneath. They just put more stuff on top, and that's it. That is English society.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh Lord, English society are cowboys.
So let me ask you a question. Yeah.
Oh Lord,
you got a car, yeah.
Oh Lord.
The paint on the car blisters, yeah.
Yes.
Around summer, every year the paint on the car blisters,
yeah.
And every year you have to respray the car, yeah. At what point are you going to say to yourself, "I need to find a way to stop this paint from blistering"? When do you do that?
How do you do it? You buy a new car, innit?
No, you don't buy a new car. You find a way to stop the paint from blistering. You're painting new paint onto the car all the time. Why don't you engineer a new way?
So you'd strip off all the paint and start again?
No, you strip off, or you find a protective coat or something. There is alternative measures, is what I'm saying to you. It can't snow here every fucking year, and then the whole transport shuts down. It can't. It's so infuriating. It's so infuriating. It's like a really bad learning curve issue. You imagine that you play a game and you make the same mistake over and over and over and over and over again.
Someone is challenging the Wahala.
No, no, man. I'm pissed, bro. I'm pissed.
I think they do it on purpose.
We need a lullaby for you, bro.
Nah, bro. I'm pissed.
I think they do it on purpose.
What? Why?
But put it this way, you know, the end of the financial year.
Yeah.
Doesn't it occur to you that during that time, there's always a lot of flipping temporary traffic lights?
Yeah, of course.
Because they need to spend the money. These contractors get connected with the government and the councils. They need to spend their money and they create new traffic. That's one of my new words that I've got. Some people out there just create new traffic.
Yeah, but here's my problem with this, yeah? Even with the snow thing. If they fix the snow, you know how many people go off work because they can't bother to deal with the shit? Yeah, how much money these companies, all companies and everything, the whole country loses money during these snowy situations. So why don't they fix the network so that the snow doesn't stop people from going to work and the money stops going
why are they
around?
letting all these blacks into this country?
What do you mean like
That is just what you sound like. You just sound like
No, I
in
pay
the
too much
pub,
tax.
That is vex.
I pay too much tax for all this rubbish. This
The
nonsense.
simple thing is, because of a nation of what the Britain is, it's simple upkeep. With their British people, Britain is too lazy when it comes to upkeep. Because if you see, like you said about the roads, they're just paving on top and on top and on top.
Yes.
The upkeep is terrible. Because even when they do that, there's potholes that still emerge because they haven't done their job properly.
It's corruption, you know, bro.
That's what I'm.
It's
That's
fully
what I'm
corruption.
telling
I
you.
was talking to somebody.
If this was Nigeria, they call it corruption.
going on here?
Listen. I was talking to one of my colleagues, an Asian, today, and he was talking about he's going to South Africa soon. I said, "You got family there?" He said, "Yeah, his brothers or his uncles there." His dad or his granddad went over to Uganda. He was of the generation that got kicked out himself. Yeah, so he's like, he still loves Uganda.
Get rid of them
He still,
now.
yeah, he still loves Uganda. He does charity work stuff there. He's still got an affinity with Africa. And I said, and it's similar in South Africa. He said, yeah, a lot of us went to South Africa as well. I said, why Uganda and South Africa? Because I know there's a lot of Asians there. He said, no, we went all around Africa. I'm like, no, you didn't. Uganda and South Africa is a hotbed of Asians from when he came over. He's like, well, that's where there was work and we'll help him build this and that. All right, well, cool, whatever. But then he was talking about the corruption there. He's like, there's so much corruption, and this is why he does his charity there, because he's one of these I don't know, one of these religions where it's like you must do all this kind of thing. Anyways, so I don't know which one it is, but anyways,
Krishna.
is bang on spirituality and vibes and all that stuff. Anyways,
Is he a Buddhist?
I don't know which one it is. Man keeps going through the list. I'm just telling you that's the type of thing he is. Yes,
Hurry.
Is it the Madonna religion?
maybe. So he was talking about the corruption there. The corruption there is so bad. It's so bad. And I was telling him, listen, there's corruption everywhere. He's like, yeah, but Africa is so bad. I said, listen, in Africa, the way they do the corruption is just blatant. Well, we've discussed it on the podcast before. It's just blatant there. Same, Theresa May is doing her thing, and Macron is doing his thing, and Trump is doing his thing. They're not going into Syria for nothing. Yeah, that's his own form of corruption. They're doing corruption here. You know about the corruption here, but it's different. I said, look at China and Russia. These are people like China now. They've just signed a law where I can now be the president or the what did they call him? Did they call him the president?
No, the premier is the premier. Really?
They've signed into law. Big Wahala's calling him.
The Premier in.
No, premier. They just allow it, man. He's just the premier. He's the real bad man.
Bruv, you there? Oh, he's connecting. He's going over hotel Wi-Fi, so bear with us. It will hook up at some
He's
point.
them gun star heroes, bro.
Anyways, so where was I?
The premier.
Yeah, they've now they had a what do you call it? The thing where you vote.
Election.
They had an election recently, a few months ago, and after the election, the man won because he's gonna win, and it was set up now so that he can now stay in power indefinitely.
Raw.
Because in most countries, most of these Western countries, you have 2 terms or 3 terms or something like that, and you have to leave.
Nonsense.
Now it's changed. They've signed it that they can do it indefinitely, and in
So
Russia,
long as they get voted in.
yeah, it has to be a legitimate vote, but it's not a legitimate vote. So now I can stay in power forever until I did. And in Russia, look what happened. Man went up. And his number one opposition, he put him in jail. But he won the vote by 80% or something like that.
Yeah, and that's
This is corruption. But they don't talk about Russia and China like that though, do they? Because they're massive powers. But did you even know about this stuff?
Something.
I didn't know about the China one.
Something like that.
But I know that my uncle Putin was I know he was running the country as the president when he wasn't the president. I know that. Like he put the man who was president there, and he was sending him to do this, that, and the other. So it's the same corruption.
It's just some could even say that's even worse. But this is the point. These people are dictators, but they don't talk about them the same day they'll talk about the dictators from Africa.
Of course not,
because they're tyrants.
No,
these people are chucking people in jail. Look at in China, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. Everything is state sponsored. There's all the press goes through China. This is why Facebook can't be in China.
Yeah,
don't do that, don't because there's no free speech.
Mm-hmm. The thing about it is now, so even is it like Theresa May as well? She even, what does she do? She wheeled out. We ain't paying the nurses and the doctors and all them kind of people that are within the NHS. But when she wants to win an election, she wheels out 2 billion and goes, yeah, DUP man, you lot hold this. Where did the 2 billion come from, please?
Exactly. Money that they can't put in the NHS.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
These people are idiots, man. So the money's there.
Every now and then we have new weapons that are being made or whatever because we got defense budget. Where did defense budget come from?
Your pocket.
You understand what I'm saying to you? So fix the fucking road.
Excuse the language.
Let me change the subject a little bit before we go into our questions, yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
Does anybody know the name Victor Adebodun?
Is that the producer, director that recently passed?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Victor Adebodun, he recently passed away. Tragically, don't know how he passed.
Yeah.
Do you know how
no,
he passed?
there's too many conflicting stories, so I'm not going to go with
so I won't go into it. But he has recently been involved in Coronation Street, and the first time that I got that I noticed him was for the role that he played in Venus versus Mars. Remember I was telling you about that program, Venus versus Mars, and the women in there were just fantastic.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
He was the one that produced that and directed that, and for me it was a wicked program that I would recommend anybody to go and watch. And I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of years ago at the Nigerian Independence dinner that our boy Alexander Mosu held at the Houses of Parliament. And he brought his wife, and she was ready to drop. You know what I mean? So we had a good chat, exchanged DLs.
She was pregnant.
Yeah, she was pregnant, and met again another time after that. And it's just unfortunate that the man has now left us.
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace to him.
Very good creative.
He's one of the man them really, and for those that are close to him and his family, we you're in our thoughts.
Yeah, condolences.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, rest in peace, brother.
All right.
No, I'm sorry. But the corruption thing has got me, man. Did you look? No, serious. This is a double.
This guy is on his corruption period.
No, this one's
on
deep.
your
Last week
corruption
we had no topics. This week we got so many
No,
topics.
this
And we're
one
already more than half an hour through. What do you think?
This one is deep. This one is very deep. Yeah. Speaking about corruption. Yeah. Have you heard about what's going on in Austria right now?
I heard a little bit, but yeah.
With the asylum and the refugees.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They're fully taking the piss. No, I'm sorry. How is a refugee going to come to your country and you're going to put in law that says that you can take their phone, search through their phone to find out whether they are who they are, and more importantly, look at the location data history to see the route that they came into your country.
Yep.
Because if you came in by another European country, they're sending you back to the European country.
I don't actually have a massive issue with it.
And
take
as
your
if,
money.
As if that wasn't bad enough, they want 840 euros.
They tax you.
I'll be honest with you.
As a refugee, where the hell are you going to get that?
Thank
kind
you.
of
If you ask me for 840 euros right now, I'm gainfully employed, yeah, and it will hurt. It will hurt.
money? You
Do
get
you
me?
know what I'm saying to you? I'd have to look at my daughter and wonder whether I can give you this money. Bruv, it's deep.
It's true, bro.
It's very deep.
You're taking liberties asking for the money. The other stuff, I'm not sure. I'm with Stavros here. I'm not sure that I would have the biggest. If it was my country,
Yeah, that's how I always
You get me?
always look at
It's
it.
my
I always
country.
flip it. If it's
like I
my
said
country,
to you in the group, I said if that was Wakanda, Prince T'Challa will be doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, but what you have to understand here is part of the reason why these people are seeking asylum and refugees is because your fucking country had something to do with them in their own country. You understand what I'm saying to you? Sorry, I'm on one today. But
what's with the language business?
Because he said, excuse my Spanish.
yeah, when I first started, I said I was going to try not to swear, but I'm on one today.
Swear, man.
So, but
I know why you're saying that you don't want to swear.
But do you understand what I'm saying to you as well? Like, so if you're
Fully.
if you're one of these EU countries, yeah, and people are coming to you for asylum, the only reason why you have an asylum program is because you're doing crud around the world anyway. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Oh man, it's upsetting.
The thing I want to know is how long before other EU countries are going to start follow suit?
Ooh.
Bro, it's right wing business. That
Well,
is-
America's already started where, like, on the plane when you go to America, you have to sign thing.
Yeah.
But now they're gonna implement something where they're gonna have to. You're giving them permission to check your social media. You have to give them your social media passwords and login details.
I beg your pardon.
They want to go through your social media.
Seriously?
That's what America's gonna start doing. Yeah, they haven't started yet, but
they
they're
have
gonna.
started it. They were doing
They have
that
started?
back in 2010. They did that when I
No. There's one where
to New
they
York.
ask you,
Yes.
and now it's going to be a bit more of an oomph to it. So from before they've asked you,
Oh, I had the
what's
oomph.
your social media?
I didn't get asked. I had
Surely
the-
can't be passwords, bro.
Maybe not password, but your name, so they can search
do
you.
want to get into your social media. They've done it to me. They got into
It's
my
on the
social
visa.
media.
It's on the if you do the electronic visa, the ETSA. It's asked you. There's a section on it that talks about social media or what have
So
you.
some people are saying you need to go there with a burner phone and set up a fake profile from now and give them your fake Facebook and Twitter handles.
But what about the people that don't have?
If you don't want them to, because then they won't believe you.
But there's bare people.
You're a young man. You're with the in crowd.
I know.
You've got a podcast.
I know bare people that don't have social media. Bare people, and they're my age group
The
as
only
well.
social media that a few of my friends have got is WhatsApp. Nothing else.
Can I just touch on another bit of corruption then?
Go on then.
Did you hear about this Like a Mobile business?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Like a Mobile, France was so Like a Mobile's their head office is in the UK.
Okay.
All right. Now they've been charged or they've been accused of doing money laundering from the French government.
Yes.
Yeah. So the French government come to the UK government. When they want to bomb other countries, they will pally. But when they came over and they said, you know what? Yeah, Like a Mobile has been doing some crud. We want to go through their offices. Can you just grant us a little, where we're on your turf? Can you let us do our thing? This is what the British public said. Yeah. The government said. Yeah. Right. And I'm not mincing the words. I'm not doing it verbatim, but this is in essence what they said. You want to do this thing? Yeah, cool. Which company? Like a Mobile. Yeah, that's not. Sorry, Jim. What's like a? Oh no, sorry. Apparently, Like a Mobile is the highest people that give us money to the government. So
highest donators.
The highest donators to the Tory government. So we're not gonna allow you to go through their offices.
Flipping
And that's what they said. They didn't just say no.
They
said
gave them
no,
the reason
because
why.
they give us so much donations. Nah, we can't mix with them.
Can you imagine?
Oh, we paid. You can't get
and they're suspected money laundering.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Fucking hell, mate.
That
Not
is-
even fucking hell. Fucking hell.
That is
Get me.
for me. That is the ultimate shield right there. Imagine that. That's diplomatic immunity. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
It's what money
Straight
and power, bruv.
So BuzzFeed,
If you become a multi-millionaire or billionaire or whatever, you know how you can get protected.
it's all about pushing money into government and getting them to do your thing. So
That's what I'm saying.
BuzzFeed,
That's the way to get protected.
BuzzFeed broke this story. Now, before they pushed it out, they always go to the source and say, "Listen, we got this story. Do you want to give us your side of it before we print it?" And one of the spokespeople said, "This is ridiculous. Of course, nothing like this could ever happen. Why would somebody be so?" He basically said, "Why would somebody be so stupid to say that?" So he told him, rack off. Obviously, it's a nonsense. 2 twos. Once the story broke and they had proof with the emails, it's like, you know what? I think that was a bit unfortunate that the person said that.
There's always a little bit of blonde in the government or in certain areas
You can imagine in the latest
of corporate society.
in the
You
latest
get me?
company meeting, we've had to excuse Jenny for personal reasons.
You said what? You wrote what?
Yeah.
Are you stupid?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. There's always a little element of dunceness within the government when they just do stupid.
I don't even think it's an element.
you think
it's
it's
just there.
You think it's stupidity, but it might just be somebody just being honest. They were just being honest.
That is it.
They were being honest, but
At
they
a time where they shouldn't have been honest, and they didn't realize that they weren't
There you
supposed to
go.
be honest. That was basically, as if this doesn't get any worse. As if it couldn't get any worse. Listen to this now. Nigel Farage.
Be careful with this one.
Why?
Come in.
Be careful with it.
because
If I were you, I just wouldn't even say it, because if it's what I think it is,
What is it?
with certain passports,
Yeah.
then it's not really.
Dish the dirt, man.
It's not really.
Nigel
be
Farage.
careful
Mr. Brexiter.
Yes.
with this one.
Mr. UK.
Mm.
Yes,
These
Mr.
may be your last words. as
Mr.
king.
Britain.
Name the film.
Mr. Britain. Yeah.
Go on.
Turns out two
You
of
can't
his
forget
his
that.
children have got German passports.
German passport.
I
hell.
thought you were gonna do the story that is going around that he's going to get them German passports.
No, they've got them already.
Yeah. So this is the point. They've had them from
German
whenever.
passports, so they can move around the EU.
What they're saying
with
is that
freedom
exactly,
of movement.
yeah.
business.
The same
His
Brexit guy,
children
you know.
will have freedom of movement because their mother is German,
Can you imagine?
and
Look at this
the rest of the
guy.
Brits that have voted to leave Europe will not have freedom of movement.
Can you imagine?
But then, as somebody with
Dual citizenship.
yeah, I don't see the problem with that. So everyone. So if the mother's German, should they not have a German passport as well? Well, what's the problem with that? So you're moaning for the sake of moaning.
No, I get
yeah.
that.
So that's why
No,
I'm
it's
like, be careful with
It's
that.
because of
one.
what he stood. He
No,
stood
it's
for.
what-
Yeah, but it
still-
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, you don't go out here throwing up gang signs for the
it's-
UK, talking about UK, Britain first, and all this shit. And
It's
then
hypocritical.
your two children have got German passports.
It's not hypocritical. The mother is German, so she's half. His
Even
children
that.
are half German.
Even that.
No, the Queen's German. That's all right. Real talk. Next thing, you know what?
Is this more corruption? Bro?
The news is mad.
Corrupt episode.
So listen to this now. So you got Doma. You know the thing that happened in Syria and Doma, yeah? And they will say not the actual attacks that have happened from this country and France and America, but you know there was some video footage going around about after a chemical attack or alleged chemical attack from Assad, and they had children in the hospital and what have you, and they had all that footage,
washing them down, wiping their faces.
Yes,
that is the biggest conspiracy. And you're gonna tell a different story, but the whole Syria thing is madness.
All right, so watch this now. Yeah, they caught up, some reporters, journalists, and stuff caught up with one of the youths that was in the thing.
In the suspected,
in the video, yeah,
okay,
in the chemical attack in the video, the ones that they're washing down.
This is an RT story, is it?
Yes, yeah,
but this is Russian times, bruv.
Bruv,
No, it's actual Russian times.
Bruv.
They're bedridden for Syria.
listen to this. Now.
Go ahead.
So anyway, they must have interviewed the youth and the youth's family, and it turns out that they were in their house, minding their business, and then they heard some commotion outside of their yard. Come outside and people are telling them you have to go to the hospital. There's been a chemical attack. So they've all gone to the hospital, all start getting wiped down with water. All of a sudden there's all this press there in the hospital to film them and all the rest of it. Then the doctors that are from the hospital are saying they don't understand why all these people just randomly start coming into the place. No chemical symptoms, no chemical attack symptoms or nothing like that. And no one can understand why they've had to go through all of this. And the children are saying, we were scared, and we were doing what we had to do, and they gave us food.
So it was staged.
Completely.
Of course it's been
I said
staged,
that. I said
bro.
that.
I even
last
said
week.
that last week.
I said
Completely.
So they're like big white man, not black man's sitting around microphones. White men, the important people are saying it seems a bit too convenient.
Yeah.
The ambassador said it seems a bit too convenient that everything was all set up, wasn't it?
And then in addition to that now,
Oh Lord, there's more.
in the same Doma, they found containers with chlorine from Germany and smoke bombs from UK in Salisbury. Yeah? So what they're saying is...
I wouldn't be surprised if all that was staged.
So
as
what
well.
they're saying is staged, but it's not staged by Assad. It's staged by another group of vigilante militants or what have you in order to get the action from the UK, the US and France. Bro, the thing is mad.
If anybody has watched the television series 24, now this finished about 2 or 3 years ago.
This man loves this
Now,
program.
24 was mad, and you got to think when it actually started. 24 started around 2005, I think. You get me? And it went on for about 10 seasons with 24 episodes in there. So there was a lot of, that's what I'm saying. All of this stuff happened, the propaganda, all the crazy stuff. And when you watch programs like House of Cards, it's all embedded. This is all the truth. The thing about Syria is so weird because, you know, this Assad was saying that there's people trying to take over his country, a coup d'etat, and then he's trying to bomb these people and trying to get them out. The Americans, French, English, and some parts of the UN tried to stop him apparently killing his own people. He's saying, hold on, man, it's ISIS. ISIS are coming over here to try and fight me, the same ISIS that are giving you problems.
Yeah.
They're saying, no, we're coming. Even Barack Obama, get this man out. He's killing his own people. So what happens? The Americans come in, UK come into his country. They try to fight Assad, and they look around and think, oh, it is ISIS. We better stop ISIS. So now he's practically won or winning the war.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, oh, look, chemical attack. Let's go and fight him again. That's basically what has happened.
Bro, they fired 103 missiles. 103 missiles on rockets.
And trust me,
At one location.
believe you me, civilians have died.
Not for
You
them.
get me?
Oh, of
But will
course.
you see that on TV?
No, they won't show you that. They don't.
Not a thing.
The funny thing is they don't want to upset the narrative, but they've created the narrative.
And there's some, and this is what I said in the group just the other day. We are in the Matrix. Which one are you and Neo?
Yeah, but the
bro?
thing is,
All right.
if you
The
look
last...
at-
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh, go.
a black Neo
Last dub plate.
with dreads.
Last dub plate and I'm done. And I'm done
for dub
You
plate.
know, Will Smith was meant to be Neo, isn't it?
Serious?
Yeah, he turned it
Yeah,
down.
he turned it down.
Why? Because he's a
Do you think
Scientologist.
who would have been better though? Do you think he would have done a better job?
I think Neo needed the wooden performance of
Keanu.
Reeves.
I can't see anybody else being Neo anymore.
Mm.
But he's such a bad actor. But when he's
I think
good, he's good.
I think Will Smith would have done well.
Nah.
He would have tried to put too many
man.
jokes, too much charisma.
No.
I
When
don't know
Will
if-
Smith wants to do serious, man, he's good, man.
No, Will Smith can't do serious.
No, he can,
He
bro.
can't. If you look at his
what's that
facial
film?
expressions in any serious film,
What's the film
he
he
goes
done
for the
where
funny.
he was on his Jones?
I Am Legend.
Bruv, that film's wicked.
But you know, the
there was
difference-
comedy in
I
that.
think
but
no, it
really.
was a serious film.
It
but
was a serious film, but you look at his facial expressions. He can't do it and be serious all the way through.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Nope.
Come on.
No, he still had ironic comedy
Yes,
in
irony.
there.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a little bit of
irony.
comedy in there, but the essence of the film was
there
serious,
are laughs in
bruv.
the Matrix, you know, as well. Come on now, it's not like the whole film is super bland. But I just think that role deserved somebody that doesn't have that oozing charisma that Will Smith has. Will Smith has charisma and it just oozes off him.
Precisely.
And,
There you
and
go.
I don't think Neo is the charismatic dude.
Yeah.
Neo is the dude that was the dweeb behind the computer.
That's
in
what
the
I'm
first
saying.
place.
It needed that wooden Keanu performance.
I can't see him being a dweeb. Can you see Will Smith as
Mr.
the dweeb?
Anderson and never had charisma.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson.
Anyway, last update for me, and I'm done. Yeah. So, check this out now. So you remember the poisoning in Manchester?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poisoning.
The nerve agent that hit the ex-Russian spy and his daughter.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
in,
that one.
in Salisbury.
Salisbury,
Yeah.
yeah. It's outside Manchester. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Yeah. So apparently, that nerve agent isn't special. In other words, it doesn't. It's out in the wild. Is the term? Yeah, which means
It's
that
easily accessible.
it's easy
So
accessible.
it wasn't cultivated.
So it wasn't
No lab.
cultivated, and it wasn't Russian lab. So there's been a.
But they even said that they couldn't prove that it came from Russia.
But then the Swiss have also tested it and said this thing didn't come from Russia. In fact, the compound is US and UK use that compound.
No, the UK and the US government, under pretense of we can't tell you, have both said that we have proof. That
Yeah,
is- that
but
is
the external sources have said that they can't tell.
Bruv, I don't know.
As in they
you know,
can't tell.
that area is still cool enough now. You know, somebody might say, "Well, there's something underneath them hills there."
No, I think that they did get poisoned and that they
How
nearly
long?
died.
And they're cool enough to whole thing for how long?
But I do think that it was infiltrated internally. And for those that do love 24 know that this happened many a times in that program where
All I'm saying is,
so many snakes and
If-
backstabbers, bruv.
if Uncle Putin wanted somebody dead, know that they'll be dead.
So if you look at this now, if we look at
True.
the media, what media does when we look at films, TV shows, and how they say art imitates life, life imitates art. These stories have been told to us for years. When I say years, I mean years. In the 70s and 60s, they were telling us things like this are going to happen. But nobody really pays attention.
Just
Yeah,
spoke,
because
we spoke
the-
about
the-
Shakespeare, innit?
Yeah, because the truth is stranger than fiction, isn't it? That's why. So,
But there's truth in fiction.
I hear that.
Mhm.
I hear that, bruv. I hear that.
Do you know
It's
what I
all
mean? And
mad.
there's so many of us, we have a certain awakening within us. We have a sense that we know, do you know what? This doesn't feel right. Something's
Information
not right
age.
here. It's like, I can see that. I can feel that happening. And you see the shift and the paradigm changes in the social rhetoric. And then it becomes too late. It's like, well, we did tell you it was going to come. We did tell you it was happening, but you didn't want to listen to us. We put it in our films. We put it in our TV shows because sometimes that's the only way we can get the message across. If I tell you blatantly to your face, you won't believe it.
It's true. It's mad. It is mad. Like sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's because it's so crazy. If you told somebody, they just wouldn't believe
Yeah.
you. It's one of them things. You know,
Those
sometimes
are the kind of things people get section for.
it's section 4. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't lie about that.
Tuesday. Who drinks coffee here?
I quit 3 years ago.
I drink coffee.
Yeah, you've been to Starbucks lately.
Did I break it for you, staff? Did I break it for you?
I was gonna do the Windrush thing and then go to the more
Thinking about afterwards. I was thinking Windrush as well, but
Yeah, let's go win.
because that fits in with what we're talking
Oh,
about.
of course it does.
As we're attacking the government,
Oh, yeah.
then we might as well
Let's
just
go
continue.
Well, let's have a coffee break first and then go back.
I like that.
They're all closed, mate. They're all closed.
How do you like it, mate? Latte, mocha.
So what do you want to talk about? Then?
I will go Windrush and the bitch bastard cunt fuck up British
But
government.
You really don't.
Excuse your language. seniors.
Yeah, apologies to my aunties and uncles that do listen. But it is a topic that is very, it's touching to the heart of most black people in this country.
I had brap to David Lammy. He weren't having a
He
bar
weren't
of
having
it.
none of it, mate. What he said in Parliament was very blunt and straightforward, and I think Theresa May was forced to apologise. I mean, these apologies are
I'll be honest with
watered
you.
down and a complete nonsense.
I'll be honest with
There's
you.
no sincerity in
That
it.
David Lammy speech needed either some ad libs or
It needed a.
or it needed some. Yeah, it needed that. It needed that.
Should I even play the thing?
Wait for the remix, man.
don't
Wait for the remix of the
It's been heard,
speech.
but you know it needed it. They needed some lot of mercy after
Yeah.
some of the stuff he was saying. Trust me, 'cause the way my man put it, and you could see that he was.
If you lay down with dogs,
Yeah.
you catch fleas.
Oh, mercy.
Did you see the woman, the Home Secretary?
Yeah.
She looked
She
like
looked
she was
shook.
in school and she ducked her head. She looked like
He was
no fast retort where just like all of them shut up.
He was seething, bruv. If you plugged him into the mains, he'd just power up the whole of the country at that moment in time because he was seething, bruv. Trust me.
Okay, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, all right. Windrush. How are we going to explain? Windrush is between the 30s to the 50s,
Yeah.
when people from the Caribbean were invited over to come to the UK for work because they needed people to work, and then also to help out with the
To
war as
help
well.
build a better nation.
Yeah. So you were invited to come to the UK because you were part of this Commonwealth that we were talking about before. You were a citizen of the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's sitting on your passport. Yeah. So Jamaica via way of the UK. All right. So you had free movement between two countries. Now, what's happened is X amount of years later, the paperwork for these people has been chucked out.
Oh, it's gone missing.
No. They said they got rid of it. They got rid of the paperwork. They did this about whenever the Tory party came into power. They did it right at the beginning of when they came into power. It was discussed to them. So then, how are you gonna keep check on these people that that are meant to be here, as opposed to people that came illegally? They said we'll do that problem when it comes to us. So that's something that's coming to light now. And at the time, the Home Secretary was
Theresa May.
Theresa May, also our present Prime Minister. So they got rid of the documents for these people, and now for some reason this year, they've now started to expel, disband, chuck out these people that have been in the country for 40, 50, 60 years, and their children as well that were born here don't know nothing about no other country.
Yeah.
So this is one time where there's been uproar and they're backtracking fast, and they've said their stories in their their typicals. I'm sorry for anyone that got
Even
blah, blah,
the
blah,
Jamaican Prime Minister, the Jamaican President came here.
They've got a good bucking, and they're backtracking. So at least things are happening, but they were stopping people from using the NHS. There were people that were all the way to the airport before things got sorted out, and they came back. So the Caribbean community obviously is up in arms, and the black community in general, and so we can discuss it now that everybody knows what's going on.
That David Lammy video was deep though.
David Lammy is the Tory MP, the Labour MP for Tottenham, and he gets a bit of flack from blacks, and he has done for a long time. But he's been there. It's like that's his seat. He's been there for ages. But since Grenfell Tower, he's like all of a sudden he's turned into a black person.
I don't know. I mean,
He stood up.
I think he's become more accepted. I think he's always.
I feel like he's been listening to sound
He's
system more. He knows
changed.
what dub plates are now, bro.
Since Grenfell, he changed. It's like all right.
He went straight to Saxon.
Grenfell
Trust
is the towers that with the what's it called the cladding, and it went it went down in flames. Now one of his friends died in that, and it seems like that tweaked in him because
Triggered him.
he went flames the same way as he did this kind of speech in Commons that we're talking about now, where he flamed Theresa May and the Home Secretary. He was doing that during the Grenfell as well. And before this stuff that's happened, he was talking about the stuff, the stop and search, and the children that was dying that we discussed a couple of weeks ago. He's been flaming people on that as well. For the past 6 months or so, this dude he's been flying the flag for young black Britain. Forget young, for black Britain. Whereas before, we didn't necessarily see that from Mr. Lammy.
That's what I'm saying to you. He's a dub plate specialist now.
He's changed.
He's been out here with
There's a change. I don't know. Maybe he's seen
man
like, you know what?
Squidgy.
Maybe he feels confident in his position now. And he's like, now I'm here. I can do what I actually came to do.
Every other speech, lot of mercy. Well, lot of mercy. Trust me. After each one. Trust me. My
After
guy is
each
just.
line.
But you know, this Windrush thing is deep, you know, because it affects my family.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it really affects my family. My granddad, over my grandma. So my granddad came over them Windrush times, and he's like the MacGyver of a human being. Like he's done every job known to man. I sat down one day and I spoke to him because my granddad don't like to talk. So if the whole family comes over to see them, he will just cut out to the room to the side and just leave everybody else talking and whatever.
Go watch cricket.
Not even. He just doesn't want to. He can't take it.
Socialise.
He don't like it. He just does not like blacks. So he don't like them at all.
Smart man.
He's a very smart man. So anyway, one day I thought, you know what? Let me try and engage him in it because it's not. We don't really talk on that level kind of thing. So I sat down to engage him or whatever, and we were talking about. I think we started talking about driving. That's where it started. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, when I first come over to the country, I used to drive, you know." I said, "What do you mean?" "Yeah, man, them time that you know I have license, you just drive." I said, "Raw, calm down."
Oh yes.
Then he was like, "Yeah, he used to drive delivery truck and that." Then he went to big truck, the HGV thing. I was thinking, "Wow, my granddad has done everything. Man, done decorating, painting and decorating, whatever.
Listen, all them people have done everything.
He done everything.
Speak to my dad.
Carpentry." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, my dad's done the carpentry.
We're Swiss Army
he's
now,
done
it's
the
trust.
accountancy. He's done everything. It's like, what have you not done?
Exactly. I said to him, "What?" Because well, you know, them times you had to make what you had to make, and he had 6 kids in it. He had 5 of them that were to come over, and 1 that stayed in Jamaica. So he needed to, you know, be about that work. So he was like grinding. But he's a Windrush.
This is why
he
they
came
people
over on the boat, mate.
in their 60s, 70s. They look at us like, look at you.
Yeah,
Exactly. Look what I did, man. I came over from another country when I was 20. Like, imagine you lot leaving your family.
Yeah.
I'm talking to 2 listeners now. Leaving your family, up everyone that you know, up in arms, going to a whole other country, knowing nobody, having nothing. Yeah, it's not that everything's set up for you there. Nothing.
Yeah.
Building something, laying a foundation, breeding up children, bringing them over from another country potentially, or building them there, sending them to school, giving them everything that you didn't have, and then you hear them listening to drill music. Like,
I've only got one
Lord
count.
have mercy.
I've only got one counter argument for it though.
It's a lot easier. No, yes and no.
You didn't need any qualifications. You didn't need any badges. You didn't need to do any courses. And all these things you have to pay for now.
Houses back then, yeah. I know inflation is inflation, but my parents were talking about houses costing between 10 and 15,000. Yeah, back then.
That's a lot. That's a lot. My granddad and them now talking about $3,000 for the house and $4,000 for the house and stuff like that.
Well, I'm talking about what my parents. Your grandparents is different than my parents,
Trust
so
me, bro.
that's a different age. And the one thing that all of them people said, yeah, from 40 people that are 55, 60 onwards, they all say I discussed with them, when it comes to work, what did they say? You could leave a job on Monday and have a new one on Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, all of them said that getting a job was
Easy. Yeah.
easy, and so that is the difference between then and now. It wasn't hard to find work; it was just hard to find potentially a job you wanted. But you get a job.
Them times they would look at you and address and assess whether they thought you were able enough already. Yeah, they would look at you and say, "Oh, you able to do this?" And you say yes, and the way you say yes and your confidence or what have you would determine whether or not you get the shot. Nowadays, they're looking at this piece of paper first, looking at all your qualifications, what you do and don't have, to see how much money they can't pay you. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's a kind of slightly different.
I think it's going to go back around. It's going to go back around to they're going to look less at your paper and more at your experience. So it's not just necessarily looking at you, but it's what have you done?
What have you done?
Like, it's come here for a couple of days and show me what you can do, and I'll keep you on. I think qualifications.
I think they do that. They do that now.
No.
No. There was some kind of news report about the minimum wage, and them talking about people coming in to do so-called not voluntary work, but that type of work that you're talking about, and taking advantage of them.
Oh well,
getting them to come in a little more often than they should do, and obviously not paying them, and then just sending them away.
Don't they call that unpaid apprenticeship?
Well,
it definitely ain't an apprenticeship.
That does segue to something. If you want to talk about that, the radar thing.
No, yeah. God. What this week is full of crud, bro.
What's the radar?
Before we jump onto the radar thing, I did want to ask, with this whole Windrush thing, do you think Caribbeans were too trusting in the British Empire? Because a lot of these people,
black people,
black people in general, because a lot of people are being turfed out because they don't have passports, they don't have paperwork, they can't prove that they're British citizens. Now the UK would say, "Come, you'll be sorted and looked after. We'll take care of you." But a lot of them never followed up on the paperwork saying, do I have this paperwork? Am I a citizen of this country?
No, they got stamped.
They got stamped, but how long did the stamp last for?
No, the stamp was it was you know, like you get leave of indefinite stay or whatever they call that. The stamp says doesn't talk about stay. It says you are a citizen. This is your citizenship stamp. That's what the stamp says.
The passport says United Kingdom on it.
Says
Anyways,
United Kingdom on it.
You're a subject of the United Kingdom.
So it says United Kingdom at the top, and then there's a subsection that will have the country that you're from. So Grenada, Jamaica, St. Kitts, or what have you. It will have it on the actual front of the passport, and then inside the stamp actually says you are a citizen of the British Empire.
So now why are they being S'd out?
Because the stamp in the passport says it, but there isn't a counter document that has been held within the...
No, it's been turfed.
So it's been turfed. So basically what it means is they can't look at your passport and then cross-reference
correlate it
with something. So it means that effectively, if you want to be crass about it, somebody could forge the thing. And they would have there's no quality control for it. So that's what the half of the problem is.
I was in the car with my dad and he was discussing. He's like, "This is sad, man." He's like, "But like what the actor is saying, there was a process where if you did follow up on certain other things, it would have happened. But you're talking about trust. It's just the idea that we didn't feel we had to do it, so we didn't do it. We're not expecting 50 years down the line to get kicked out of the country.
Of course not.
So."
After you've been there 10, you ain't thinking about getting kicked out again.
So my dad's like, "Why didn't they follow through and do all this stuff?" I'm like, "Well," he basically said what you said. It's like, "But you know, they could have done all this, but it's sad what's happening."
Smile on the pat on the back is a terrible thing.
"Daddy, you think they won't? You think they once they're done with them people, they're not gonna try and come to you?" He's like, "No, I'm a British citizen." I said, "All right, Daddy, okay."
You know,
like, I've got a passport. He's like, "Okay,
there
Daddy,
are
okay."
some people from Africa, West Africa, that came over here and they haven't got their passports. You know,
Yeah,
it's like my ex. She got her. Is it citizenship when you do the got the term
neutralize or
naturalization? Yeah, she done that.
Seriously,
man,
she only
neutralize. Star Trek. You are now neutral.
I'm telling you. Listen, Lost in Space, Netflix now. We'll talk about that. But anyway,
warning. I
Yeah.
want the people that know that reference. Do you know the reference?
Let me finish. We'll go on.
Robinson.
Will Robinson. Danger Will Robinson.
My ex was born in Nigeria. You get me? And she came over here when she was 3. And she only got her British passport about...
I'm going to call it a legger.
About 8 years ago.
She's
so in essence...
If this popped off 10 years ago...
if she still hadn't have done that up to now...
They'd have dipped her.
They could have said, listen...
It's time to up trails, man.
It was the same thing that happened to that Zimbabwean girl, innit? That did the...
X Factor or something.
No, the one... Yeah,
the one Visa Bay.
And the Visa Bay the other day. It's the same thing that happened to her.
You know what?
Who's Visa Bay?
Visa... Is that the one you missed?
Yeah, you must have missed
Yeah,
that. That's the episode.
So she is probably part of this stuff. So although we're talking about the Windrush, am I putting two and two together and coming up with 5?
Kind of. But
no, because
her thing
was. But the point is, she's been in this country
for 10 years plus.
More than 10 years. She's at least 20.
Yeah.
She's been. Oh, sorry, it was 10
years.
Right,
she's been at 10 years.
Okay, so it was 10 years. So she's been there for over 10 years, and because she hasn't done her visa thing properly, they're trying to kick her out and her parents. But the point is that happened a couple of weeks ago, and so is this. So clearly they're going through the list of now. They're going through something now.
Weeding out.
They're going through something now.
I hear that.
Because why is it happening now? I know that she could have done it earlier, and she should have done it earlier. But the point is, they sprung it on them now.
Brexit maneuvers,
your name's not down. You can't come in.
You're not coming in.
Yeah.
Fully Brexit maneuvers.
Because they're moving this thing fast. It's not like, there's some sort of long process where they've told you in January and by December you're getting kicked out. They're doing it in the same month. Yeah, pack your stuff.
You see how hard it is to get the visa initially when you're getting in. If you ain't got it in time, you got a week.
I'm saying if you can and you have the resources and the availability, get your dual nationality on, bro. Seriously.
Standard.
Get your mother country.
Let's talk about Starbucks. We're going to have to
be quick with this.
Curtail it.
Are we taking a coffee break?
No, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and yes, we're taking a coffee break, and the coffee break will be about 5-10 minutes. Every subject, bang, 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 bang. The way that actor bangs, 5 minutes and done. All right. So
get the job done, bro.
What's it called again?
Starbucks.
One.
But this was laughing like that, bro. I don't even know what we're laughing about, you know. Starbucks, the coffee chain.
It went over your head because you said we're gonna do this fast, like the way I bang.
Yeah.
And I said, get the job done, innit?
Yeah, I
And
heard you.
He just lost it.
Yeah, but that wasn't that. It was funny, but it wasn't
It
like.
just sweeted him. I don't know why it sweeted me.
I won't lie, Mr. Wolf was watching the video that my cousin sent me. It was just so funny.
Oh,
So it
that
wasn't
video
your
as
job.
well. It wasn't
Did
even
you see
me.
it?
Yeah, I saw
You
it.
stay to the end.
Yeah.
This is why you shouldn't be looking at stuff, man.
I don't know.
Nah,
I
I'm
thought
joking.
it was an important message, but anyway.
I know,
An important message.
All right. See, now I've lost my train of damn thought.
Starbucks.
Yeah, you wanna intro the thing?
What happened in the United States regarding Starbucks?
Well, apparently there was two mans
Yes.
that were in the Starbucks.
Yes.
Black man's?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Let's keep it neutral.
Okay.
Neutral.
Let's neutralize. So, two mans that are in Starbucks. I can't remember what state it was. Was it?
Chicago, Illinois?
No, it wasn't.
I think.
Just keep going.
I don't know if it was
Milwaukee,
Seattle or whatever. I don't know.
Seattle.
I'll check the thing.
But anyway, so there's two mans
In
there.
America.
They're in Starbucks and they're waiting for a third person. They are waiting for a third person.
In the coffee bar.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, in the coffee shop. Yeah. And
They've asked to use the toilet.
they've asked to use the facilities. And they've been told that the facilities are for paying customers only.
Yes.
I don't know. Did they buy something as a
No.
thing? So they were told that it's for paying customers only. They didn't use the toilet in the end, and then twos, yeah. The police turn up
And arrest them.
Yeah.
And take them away.
In handcuffs.
in handcuffs.
Can you imagine? As if they
Whilst-
had committed a crime.
You know,
whilst the friend
Fucking
who they
hell.
were waiting to meet
Just
is there,
arrives.
just arrives, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, they're being arrested for
for
trespassing."
trespassing.
He was like, "But they were waiting for me."
You trespass on.
You know, the thing is
Did
that everybody's been to a flipping Starbucks or flipping Costa Coffee or Cafe Nero. These places are the type of places that you would use as a meeting place for a meeting, for example, or, you know, just
A meeting place.
a
you'd use
meeting
for a
place
meeting.
for a meeting, for some kind of business meeting, or just a social, you know, we're going somewhere, let's
have a
gather
meeting.
and let's have a coffee before we go somewhere else. innit?
Or you go there to rinse the Wi-Fi. But anyway, go on.
Maybe. You get me? But
It's not maybe. That's what enough people go there
enough
for.
people go there for
Enough
for the
students
Wi-Fi.
is living it.
But the thing is that that's all part of their business thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Come
Come.
use our Wi-Fi and have a coffee and have a cake or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So people go there and they sit there generally
hours.
for hours, sometimes not buying anything, sometimes waiting for a friend. It's a normal
You know what some
thing,
people do?
bruv.
They take their iMac, not laptop, iMac, the actual one all-in-one computer. They take that massive screen, that 17-inch thing or
Yep.
whatever it is,
With the
put it on
keyboard.
it, and plug it in and sit there and use it.
That's what I'm saying. So
That's
what,
wild.
what these guys
mad.
did on that day was not out of the ordinary. So their manager obviously had some kind of issue with the blacks and decided to take it upon himself.
I don't
But
think it was the manager. I think it was the
I think it was the
barista.
manager. Yeah, I think it was the manager. Yeah.
Okay.
It was the
And-
manager.
and I
There's
would-
another
I
story
would-
where it was the barista.
I would go as far as to say that he didn't get his dick sucked that morning.
Raw.
No, he didn't. He didn't get his
You lot took it there.
He didn't get his semi-skimmed.
Oh
That's all.
Something triggered in him because
He didn't
that
get his
can't have been the
semi-skimmed.
first time that black people have come to sit down and wait for a friend.
In Philadelphia at that.
In Philadelphia. You know, this isn't flipping Wisconsin or something like that. This is Philly, man. There's enough blacks there.
So there's two related stories around that. There was another Starbucks, and I don't know where a gentleman went in to ask to use the facilities, and the barista said, "No, you have to buy something first." And he goes, "I don't mind buying something, but can I use the facilities first?" And she's
Yeah.
like, "No, you have to buy something."
Because you're bursting, innit?
Yeah. So he was like, "All right, whatever," and he was filming this, and then another gentleman came out of the bathroom, and he went up to him and asked him, "Excuse me, sir, did you use the facilities for free, or did you have to buy something first?" He goes, "No, I asked for the code. They gave me the code and I went in." He goes, "Are you going to buy something?" He goes, "No, I just came to use the bathroom. They let me go." So he went back to the barista and said, "How did you allow this person to come in without buying anything, gave him the code for the facilities, and now he's free to go? But for me, you're asking me to do this and do that and giving me grief." And it turns out, obviously, the
It was
person
in
that was
Starbucks
free-
as well, innit?
yeah person that went in for free, white gentleman.
Caucasian.
Person that wanted to use it and the barista's giving him grief. Black.
You have to understand that
A person of colour.
black urine is destructive.
Black urine is destructive.
Black urine is destructive. It'll fuck up your urinal
So as a result
Yeah, for real.
of these incidents,
Need to focus.
Starbucks has now said
And create a foam.
they're going to send all of their staff, or 8,000 of them,
On sensitivity training.
on sensitive. Well, it's not. No, it's not. It's the what's the actual term they're using? The term they're using
On
is
March
Better
20
customer
on
racial
service.
bias training.
Bull crap.
So
May
they,
the 28th, May the 26th, or something
they're,
like that.
well, they're closing
Every single Starbucks is going to shut.
8,000 stores and 175,000 staff, including people in the offices, not just the baristas, including people in the offices. They're closing it for half a day, and that's it. They're all going to. I don't know where they're going. They're going to some super church or something for them to deal with 170.
Super church.
Hey, where's 175,000 people going?
And then the Lord said,
Well,
But
no
I
matter
thought
if
it's going to
you're
be
an
like
anger,
over different days. It's the same day,
What I'm thinking, is what does
they're going KFCC.
what is it called? What is it? Bias? What's it?
right?
Racial bias training.
Racial bias training.
So come on now. Welcome in, everybody. We're gonna treat you how to be exceptionally biased.
No, but they're getting someone in, right?
Yeah.
I would assume
No,
so.
no,
It's
like,
some money.
They're going
I
to get that
think-
woman in, that old white woman.
Oh, Jane Elliott.
Jane,
They don't want to do that, boy. She'll finish them.
People
But
be crying.
I think they're actually getting like a pastor or someone in, you know.
Oh God.
I swear on my life, I think they might be getting.
I hope it's Pastor Manning.
No, I hope it.
Uncle Manning. I'll yes.
I hope it's not the pastor that
Or
I sent.
someone from the. I don't know.
I hope it's not the pastor that I sent in the group.
It's not going to be somebody from the church, man. Come on.
It's not the pastor that I sent in the group, is it? The one that said this. No, I'm sorry.
Well,
This is what
money-
the pastor. This is what the pastor said. Yeah.
Well, money come to me now.
No, this is fantastic. This is what the pastor said. Yeah. He said, if you die and go to heaven, and you don't see me there,
You sound like
you went to heaven.
had to-
King T'Challa.
That's a line. That's a line. He's official. He is official.
He's the greatest. I'm sorry. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. How can a man tell you? You get to heaven.
Yeah, in hell. If you don't see me at the pearly gates, you're in the wrong place.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll bet he's the same pastor that be feeling up the women.
Standardly.
I won't lie to you, bro. When I heard that, I was finished.
My semen will sanctify you.
I was finished. How can you tell somebody that? Oh my god. And he was dead serious as well.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Tears have been wiped from face, and we are now composed.
All right. Radar Radio.
Hold on,
What?
this radar business, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, go on.
Are you gonna stop me from explaining the thing that I was gonna explain?
because
Now go on. Let me explain.
go on, bruv. Go on.
Oh mate.
Sorry, bruv. Go on.
All right. Radar Radio.
You got to help.
One of the ex-employees, she was never paid apparently. So, but she put out a post, a blog, explaining a situation where she had been through racial discrimination and sexual misconduct, and this was as a result of a collective called Pussy Patrol. Is it Pussy Patrol or
Pussy Palace.
Pussy Palace? They are DJs on the station. So Radar Radio is an online station, by the way. Sorry, a group of 4 female artists or DJs, or a collective of them left, and they put out a post on Instagram saying basically they're leaving because of racial and sexual misconduct in the company. Sorry, I'm still out of breath from the laughing. So Radar Radio put out a post saying, we don't know what they're talking about basically, you know, but sorry to see them go. And then this blog post come from this woman saying, no, this is what these bosses have been doing, so I'm going to let you know, I'm going to leash the fury. Then all of a sudden it came out where everybody's like, yeah, there was some things going on, I did notice a bit and this and that. And it was a mass exodus of all the DJs. Like they all left.
Even the men.
Enough men gone.
Right.
Putting Radar Radio on Twitter or Instagram and just see, due to the circumstances that have been revealed, I will no longer be on the station Due to this, I will no longer be on the station. Due to that, I will no longer be on the station. Enough people leaving. I don't know how many DJs this company had.
Yeah, that's why.
It's like
there was
about 50 people that left. It's like, how many DJs do you have?
They were bearing them, and
I think because it's a internet thing. I think a lot of people had monthly shows or bi-weekly shows, so it's not like you had to do a standard daily thing. I'm out, bro.
You go to Radar Radio. It's just Consuelo. Just no show tonight.
No show. So what's happened is that it's been a bit peak around them kind of situations. The owner of Radar Radio is the son of the owner of Newcastle Football.
Okay.
What's his name?
Mike Ashley.
Mike Ashley.
Yeah.
So people were of the thought that because most of the DJs and the personalities on the radio station were black or Asian or, you know, some sort of ethnicity, that so was the owner, that it was owned by black people, and now they're realizing, no, it's this white person, and they feel that they were being taken advantage of. So that is the crux of the thing. Because I don't know too much about it, I've never listened to nothing on the station. I don't know what the frequency is on that.
It's a revolt.
He done a Rachel Dolezal, didn't he?
Yeah.
The owner of the station. He done a
How's that?
Because everyone thought the station was black hole, did it? And then he was like,
he
surprise!
kept in the background. He kept in the background.
He was
Surprise!
So, I think they're gonna have to close this thing down because everyone's gone.
Clayton Bigsby.
They stopped broadcasting already.
Yeah, but they stopped
Yeah, but
broadcasting. They
they
said for the time being
Yeah.
until we sort out the situation.
There's no situation, boy. The talent's gone.
We have made a
It's true.
decision to suspend broadcasting until we are in a position to address the recent commentary around aspects of the station.
The
So,
thing-
we
the thing
till we
that
can
is-
get some more gullible staff, we're shut down.
well, exactly. They basically are chatting rubbish. They have shut down because they haven't got no one to run the station.
Yeah, here's the problem, though. Everyone's done this max exodus thing, but I think with this, I thought they were going to try and hold them to
Account.
account, and in doing so, you have to go to court and do them tribunal businesses and all them.
They could still do that.
Yeah, it's messy though. Lionel.
It's the people that it happened to is the ones that are gonna have to say, I was abused this way. I was this happened to me.
Class action
A lot
lawsuit.
of these people were saying they weren't paid. So it goes back to that thing was this before we started recording or after about the minimum payment thing?
It was during.
Minimum wage. Yeah, so a lot of people were doing this like indefinite apprenticeship. So that's why I said there's a segue. So some of them was like, this woman that complained said she never got paid. She was doing an apprenticeship scheme for X amount of time, and she was overqualified. Like, I've worked in radio before. I'm here because it's popping. I want to be part of it, but I was doing it over and over and over and long enough and no money. And I was rising up the ranks. So they didn't even keep in the same. It's not even like they were just cheating you to go get me tea, go get
So
me croissant.
basically,
They were moving
Radar
up.
Radio-
She became a producer. I'm not getting
Radar
paid.
Radio
We're gonna promote you, but, no pay.
is the airwaves equivalent to flipping Sports Direct. He got the same flipping blueprint.
Zero contract. hours.
Zero contract
Yeah.
hours,
Zero
and
contract
treating the
hours.
staff
And
shit.
when a complaint was made, an official complaint, they got in the same people that Sports Direct did to deal with the situation.
Wow.
So he got he told daddy, somebody's made a complaint and they've put it forward.
All right,
He's like,
so-
don't worry, I've got some people for that. And he sent the same people to basically like cleaners to go and see that situation, mate.
So the good side of this now is there was at the beginning of the year, I think it was February, around about there, Jammer from BBK.
Merkel man.
Went on the station for a segment on DJ Argue's what do you call it? Show. And they got into a bit of
It was so petty, man.
we got into a bit of a debate around
Debate?
Yeah, he got into a
That
bit.
was an argument. They were arguing on radio.
All right, so they were arguing on radio, then call it an argument. Got into an argument about the logistics of things that are happening at the radio station. And
Payment.
yeah, and Gemma was talking about payment in particular because DJ Argue hosted a set called Hell in the Cell, which is effectively like, remember back in the day when they had Deja Vu and all that, and you'd have all of the grime MCs, all of them just stacked in one room and they just passed the mic around and go back to back to back to back. So he had something similar, and there was about 50 man in that room. And I actually watched the video of that as a result of looking at this Jammer interview, and he was saying to him that, DJ Argue had exploited those 50 man because none of them got paid. They come in there, whatever. And obviously they use a line about exposure and blah, blah, blah. This is a platform and whatever. But Jammer's point was, this radio station has made money from this action and this money hasn't been paid to the people who are actually giving you the content. And Argue was like, yeah, well, I don't know anything about that, blah, 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 blah. And then obviously this thing happens. So he lets you know that Jammer had a look behind the curtain, for starters. And on the back of that, he now wants to start his own radio station. A FUBU type thing, which is for us, by us. And
is that their sourcing
talent at the moment. So he going up on Twitter and he's like, if you're a DJ or if you're, XYZ, this is the email, just let us know. But we were discussing the financial commitments required to run such a station, such an establishment. And it turns out he's going to need some serious financial backing if he's going to do it properly.
Yeah, we know someone that works at the back end of Radar Radio dealing with their infrastructure, and it's like, that thing is not expensive. And apparently they were losing £850,000 per year. The reason he could do that is because he's the son of a millionaire.
Yep.
So to run this kind of business is expensive. Unless they're just going to do it pirate radio style, which I doubt they're going to. We're in a different age now where we can do it digital, isn't it?
Yeah, but then even if you do it digital, it's not really pirate anymore, is it?
That's my point. They're not. I can't see them going down that route unless there is some sort of route where you kind of cross the boundaries where you are kind of doing it pirate, but you're doing it over the air and digitally too. I mean, there are stations that do it. That are, old school stations are still about, and they're on digital.
Yeah, it could run.
So I don't know how these things run. So it depends. Radio tried to do it like big people, innit?
Yeah.
They tried to do it fully kosher, buying all the best equipment and doing it, whatever. Maybe they might do it, well, this is how we can do it on the budget that we do have, so let's just do it. And when things get popping, we'll build on top of it, just like England did back in the day. We'll build on top of the foundation that we've got now. We're not going to try and do all the super expensive things in the beginning. Just to say though, I don't necessarily disagree with what DJ Argue said. Is it DJ Argue or DJ Angry or whatever?
DJ Argue, yeah.
I don't disagree with him. Because
what do you say?
Basically, he's saying that the grime DJs that came to the station to do this Hell in a Cell thing, they get exposure and they get their name out there. I get a good popping show. You get your name out there. And that has always been the contra deal for radio.
Yeah, but the problem here is that they sell the video footage on YouTube.
It doesn't matter. That's always been the contra deal for radio. You come to us, we get you popping. You get It's always been the contra deal.
It's a hand-in-hand deal.
If you go and do an interview on, let's say, the Breakfast Club, you know that you're going to get exposure, and they hopefully, if you're a big enough star, they're going to get people clicking on them. That's always been the case with radio. It's always been the case with radio. So I don't see, the only thing you can say is that when songs are played, you get whatever, you get money from that. You get royalties from songs that are played. But when you go to the station, you don't get no royalties from that. It's always been the case for interviews, live freestyling. You think all them Nas and Jay-Z and all them people, when they were doing freestyles on Get Our Hot 97 back in the day, they were talking about, well, you need to pay me for it. Nobody's getting paid. So in that respect, if he did a show, then maybe I could say, well, you're charging entrance fee, then I could say, yeah, all right, cool. But they're not. They were on a radio show.
A lot of it stands with endorsement deals as well. If you mention our name, we mention this, that, and the other, we'll give you a little something.
So Jammer seemed to be, because he talked about it on the other podcast, Halfcast podcast, where he was less angry. And
big up Chucky.
He fleshed it out and he explained.
Big up Pope.
But what he explained, it was exactly what's going on now.
What's that?
That basically we're being taken advantage of.
Of course.
So we need to know, if we know our own power, we could do our own thing. He's basically, that is where he fully said what happened now. That we can shut things down if we decide to, but we don't do it because we don't feel we have the power. We don't stick up for ourselves. That's basically what he said.
And this got shut down.
So he was right in that respect. Don't disagree with him at all. In that respect, we don't realize the power we have. We don't connect, unite, and take over and do things ourselves.
I just think it's sad though. I think it's sad that it's taken for a sexual harassment and sexual abuse case to be the thing that's, do you know what I mean? That's locked it down. Do you know what I mean? Like we had to, we have to unite around so much sorrow and so much pain all the time. And it's like, it's so difficult for us to come together based on like a positive thing where what
we're just gonna do something.
Yeah, let's just do something off of back
ideas.
Yeah. Like it always takes some kind of.
It's like what's happening in the streets now with the knife crime and the murders, attempted murders, and what have you. I can see that there's some positive aspects that have come from this, where the communities come together.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do something.
But you see how we come together,
why
though?
do we have to come together?
We don't come together for
off
the
the back
Commonwealth.
of-
No, we always come together
Hardship.
through tragedy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not for the Commonwealth. If we come together for the way we come together for tragedy, if we come together like that for Commonwealth, big things can be going on.
Yeah, man. For
All right.
real.
We
That's
could Black
folks.
Wall Street in the UK. Why not?
Anything's possible.
Black Wall
Ain't that
Street
right, Steph?
or Black Wall Street.
Black
No.
Wall Street.
It's not right. So I'm going to list through some of the other things we have on the docket, and you guys can say what you want to discuss. We got Jessie J winning the Chinese singing competition.
That's funny.
We don't have to go deep on that, but I'll tell you what, bruv. What is she doing?
Yeah, you're laughing. You
She's
think
winning.
Yeah,
I know.
She's
I know,
winning.
I know
There's a
she's
million
winning.
Chinamen out there.
Yeah,
There's
but
a billion
isn't
Chinamen
that
out-
cheating though?
How?
Yeah, sorry, a billion. Yeah, look at me.
How?
That's cheating. You're supposed to be a new talent guy.
No, it's not. It's not a new talent show. It's a show.
It's the X Factor.
No, it's not new, for new talent. It's for. It's not.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's
know.
a
China
Standard
version
it's
of
just
the
it's
X
just
Factor.
No, it's just a standard talent show.
It's a talent show. But the point here is
Fair enough. Go ahead and do your thing then.
The point here is,
And she got invited as well.
Did she?
Yeah, she got
And
invited.
China man like her. You
It's
know?
sensible. What she done is sensible. You can go to China and fail. And when I say fail, let's say 0.5% of the population are into you. Do you know how much million that is?
Yeah, still a lot.
More than the UK.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a money making exercise, and she's out there to make dough.
Listen, I don't think that she's done anything wrong. I don't
She's
hold it against
broadening
her.
her horizons.
She's broadened her horizons. You, even, like I said, if you get the 0.5% of that Chinese market and they stand for you properly, she could just become, I don't know, a Chinese version of Beyonce
This is why.
It's true.
in China because they go mad for
And
the.
sell
with the-
mad records.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
And,
And we won't have to hear another single from her. Or
well, she's
yeah,
won it.
exactly.
She's
Yeah.
won it now, so she's almost there.
China is the market. Listen,
she's gone.
China and India. Once you, but
That's
China
a
people
very
have
good
money.
marketing.
But
This-
do the
this-
Indians dig for you though, bruv?
No.
Do they dig? Do they dig us, bruv?
Well,
I'm not talking about blacks. I'm just
No,
talking
I'm-
about if you
no, but
can make money in
I'm-
India,
I'm
then there's a
saying-
lot of
As
people
it
there.
dig British or just dig what?
Blacks.
white blacks.
Nobody digs blacks.
No one digs
You don't
blacks.
have- You never have to ask that question.
They will dig for
our
us.
music. They do dig our music and what we do.
They got their own things, but I'll say that about the
Bollywood,
Asians.
innit?
They got their
Bollywood
own
and
with
their
music
music.
and film. They got their own thing.
They got their own
That's what
thing.
I'm saying.
They're not ready to.
They're
But
good
I
about
do think the Chinese
There's a
and
little
the
bit of
Orientals
Cross.
love black folks when it comes to
Well, they
entertainment.
didn't love bloody Black Panther, did they?
Did they not?
They did
No?
it. They did it.
I don't know. What happened there?
No, man.
Yeah.
They were saying, oh, they didn't like it. They're not used to seeing black people on screen. They
Yeah, it
were
was-
giving people interviews outside.
Almost
Yeah,
was some
I
sort of
saw
a
a few of
revolution or
them and-
revolt.
Yeah, but I saw a few of them and they
Racist
said that they
comments.
They
liked
weren't
it.
having it. They weren't having a bar of it. They got
The ones that I saw were good.
They got scared. Godzilla. No, they weren't having it.
Man took Japanese and took it and made it Chinese. Look at this guy,
Godzilla, you know.
But this is why black people can't be racist.
Well,
I'm not on this one. Anyways, what the Chinese market? You see, Apple when they had that problem with the FBI and they said you need to open this phone, you need to crack the phone, and they said no, we ain't doing it, and they took the FBI to court,
Yeah.
and they won because they're like, yeah, we do what we want. When it comes to China, and China says you need to do this, this, and this before you come into this country, they say, oh, okay, and Zuckerberg, Mr. Facebook, is gagging to get into China because
of course he is.
I need that money.
Do you know one of the,
Google's the only bad man that said, what? Fine, later then. Because they said you have to Google, you have to do this and that. And I said, no, forget it then.
do you know how you get into China? You have to have
Gangnam Style?
if you're an outsider, you have to have like a wife.
Gangnam
You either
Style.
get invited, you have to get invited, or you have a wife, a Chinese wife, and that's the only way that you can do business.
But
as an
Zuckerberg does have a
outsider.
Chinese wife.
Does he?
Yeah.
Is she properly Chinese though?
She's Chinese.
Is she Chinese with an American
Is she
American
properly-
passport?
He learned
Chinese.
Mandarin.
Okay,
He
Oh,
learned
see,
Mandarin.
I didn't know that.
Should we take the podcast to China?
maybe she don't know. They don't know her.
Zuckerberg, every year, every
She
New
don't
Year's,
let no
he says
Chinese
he has
to
this pledge that he does. So this year's one is he needs to fix Facebook. That was his pledge for this year. But a couple of years ago, his pledge was, I'm going to learn Mandarin. And by the end of the year, he had learned Mandarin.
You got time. You can do
got
that.
time, innit?
Pig.
Well done.
You know, we should take this podcast to China and have a failure. Yeah, have a failure where only 0.5% of the
Yeah,
population
you
listens
stay
to
there,
us.
boy. We'll end up in prison, man.
What?
One time.
We won't end up in prison.
For what though? I don't. Have we said anything that's against the Chinese?
Yes.
Is it?
I don't know, but if we go through the archives, I can guarantee you, we said something bad about everything.
I ate Chinese yesterday.
You know why I have no
No, I
problem
don't
with
eat that shit, bruv.
what's that cartoon?
It's vegan Chinese.
Dragon Ball
Family
Z.
Guy, bruv.
Not is it Family Guy?
Because they
Family Guy or
cast
American Dad.
Yeah,
everybody.
that's it. So
Everyone.
I'll give Family Guy a blight because he cusses
Basically,
everyone.
you ain't got no problem with Ted McFarlane.
He cusses everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So I'm putting my hands up and saying I'll do the same thing.
Black.
We are
white,
McFarlanes out
Asian,
here.
Jew.
That is true, actually.
We cuss blacks, we cuss whites, we cuss. In fact, let me not say that. Well, we cuss.
Why don't
No,
you
we-
want to
I
say
don't.
that?
We cuss. Everyone.
Essentially,
everyone
we
gets
don't
it.
discriminate.
Everyone gets
We
it.
don't discriminate on
We just
We
anyone.
hate
busting.
everybody.
We just but no. We love it for them. We're just busting some joke, innit?
We can even be sexist. Oh shit. Oh shit. I hear Wahala.
Yeah, well, Hala's not here. Women, you know,
Yeah.
there's no one to save you now.
Defenses are down.
Attack. Doggy style.
Oh my God.
Bruh.
You got too far, brother.
Goddamn.
I didn't get consent.
Yeah,
Sorry.
47.
All right.
But did you get consent? It's rape.
All right. Let's see.
That's a t-shirt, bruv.
Did you get consent?
Hashtag did you get
it's-
consent?
Hashtag is rape.
No.
Or
that's-
hashtag
that's-
rape culture.
That's Wahala.
Now you know the thing last week he said where
He says
where-
it every other week.
You were there last week, innit?
Not last week.
Anyways,
Yeah, but that's rape.
anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Have any of you heard of the film I Feel Pretty?
I feel pretty, so witty and bright.
It's either just about to come out or is coming out soon.
Yeah.
I feel
It's
pretty.
got who's that? That
Amy Schumer.
So it's a film,
Oh, yes. I see the trailer for that.
and
rubbish.
so the trailer for
It
it
is actually rubbish.
Okay.
Sorry.
but there's a boycott not to watch the film because of the trailer. And the trailer is, or the premise of the film is that a woman who is slightly overweight, let's call her, she's not plus size, or is she?
She's plus. So.
She's like a size 16 UK. maybe.
She just got bad distribution. That's what
She's
it
a
is.
size. She's a size 16.
bit of water retention.
Yeah?
Distribution.
That's what I'd call her. She's a size 16
Yeah, it's
And-
bad distribution.
That's what it is.
because she's got on bottom.
No, she hasn't.
She has a peculiar shape. I won't say she's got a peculiar shape.
Anyway,
Her
so
bottom is where her stomach is.
Oh God.
she's a size 16, maybe at 18, and she hits her head, and she goes through this process where, she's a size 16 stroke 18 who's not confident in her looks at all, in her physicality. Then she knocks her head and has this disillusion that she's the most beautiful woman in the world, and then she plays out the rest of the film thinking that she's the most beautiful woman in the world. All the men are after her. She could be a model if she wants, because for some reason she was a fickle person in the first place, and she thought looks were that much of a big deal, and now she thinks she's the best looking woman in the world. She thinks she's got it like that.
She's got super confidence now.
Yeah. So that's the premise of the trailer, and we assume that's the premise of the film because if you ain't watched the film, you're only going by the trailer. So because of this, people went up in roar and said, we ain't gonna watch the film because it's disgraceful that you portray women like that.
Yes.
Portray women how?
That's what I'm trying to think.
I'm still kind of baffled on it. That basically you're saying that that's all we are.
It's
Like
the
it's just about looks.
stupidest.
I'll be honest with you, yeah.
Hands up.
There's a
let's
massive
revolt
boycott thing.
nonsense.
I'll be honest with you, yeah. In this day and age, 2018,
This is what I want to discuss.
SJW, social justice warrior, is actually a form of employment, and it is something that you can do to occupy most, if not all, of your time.
Justice.
If all the
Because-
things you could protest and revolt against, you're going against this. It's rubbish. It's complete nonsense. It's a farce, I tell you. A farce.
You know, people are protesting against Friends now. Millennials that were very young when Friends finished are now watching it on Netflix, and they're seeing some of the jokes they're seeing as racist, some of the jokes they're seeing as sexist, and they're saying, "How dare you? How did people watch this?
They better not watch Seinfeld then.
How did
For
people?
real.
How did people
Flipping
watch this? Forget that. Let them go and watch bloody Alf Garnett business.
Yeah.
Only
Or even Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Only Fools and Horses. Go watch them early episodes and see what.
With Family Guy or American Daddy.
No, but they're used to that. They grew up on that.
Let them watch
Yeah, but it's
Steptoe
still
and
the
Son.
same thing, isn't it?
No, let them watch Steptoe and Son.
It's to the
They'll
extreme.
fall over.
No,
of
the difference
sexism
between
and
Family
racism.
Guy and, let's say, a joke that has a sexist twinge in Friends, the joke that in Family Guy, they know what they're doing. So you can get upset with them. I always tell people
That they do it intentionally.
I'm doing it as a joke.
Intentionally
You don't have to
to
like
wind
it,
you
yeah.
up.
But it's the joke. I know what I'm saying. Whereas in Friends, it's just like, no, yeah, women, of course, they're there for sex. It's like, it's not a joke. It's like the joke is that, why would you even question it? Whereas in Family Guy, it's like it's a joke. You know, it's a joke. If you're getting upset, then shut up and keep crying.
So with this Amy nonsense film, because I can throw 3 other films.
They're having to do interviews where they're like, please watch the film, and reviewers that have seen the film now before it's come out have said it's not like you people are complaining. If you watch the film, it is actually like there's a point to it, but obviously the trailer doesn't show you the point until you watch the film.
I can see Monique right now going,
darlings, don't watch the film.
Darlings, don't watch the film. Netflix, do you remember what you said to me? Look what's gonna happen now.
Poor Monique, man.
But it's for me, I think it's just stupid because you look at films like What a Woman Wants, Shallow Hal. They all looked at the same sort of narrative from a guy's perspective.
I don't think Shallow Hal gets made today.
Shallow Hal wouldn't get made today.
At all.
No, because that kind of on the line, but it wasn't if you think about it, because it was a guy that found insecurities with himself and then saw a woman that wasn't insecure about herself. He hit his head or he had a revelation or something happened.
In fact, it's basically that film.
Yeah.
I just realized,
It's the complete opposite because it's not about him, it was about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a thing about the way people looked, and so he then got spun so that he saw the inner beauty or the beauty of their character as physical feature rather than seeing their physical feature. So the girls...
But in the trailer of this one is pretty much the same. She hits her head and sees her inner beauty.
Yeah, but she
And
sees
then-
her own
I don't
beauty.
think it's inner beauty. She just thinks she looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
now.
so she sees herself as that way, but with the other one, with Shadow Hal, he
He
was
sees
shallow
her that way.
and he sees everybody
Yeah.
else that way. Yeah, so it's, I don't know. But speaking of this week has been mad.
Why didn't they make an uproar with the original Birth of a Nation?
The original one.
Yeah, you know about the original Birth of a Nation?
No.
Anybody else know about the original Birth of a Nation?
No.
So the original Birth of a Nation.
How long ago was this, by the way? Before you talk about
This
it,
was
I was going to say 1969, and that's why they didn't make a bloody uproar.
Yeah, probably. It was back in the 30s.
Oh God.
So
Old Birth of Nation. Oh, yes, of course. And why would? And of course they don't. What are you bring that up for, man?
it's the same. It's the same thing.
I was thinking that what's the Birth of Nation? What film about Nat Turner? It's not the one about Nat Turner. It's about the bloody Ku Klux Klan. It's a silent film. It's like every film historian says that this is a must-watch film.
Yeah.
It is a seminal film, even though all the underlying things about it is disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it and it's terrible.
What, the underlining or the actual film
The actual
itself?
film. Everything about it is terrible.
Is it a poor film? Because apparently before that, it was like it was a change. It was a sea change in film. It's a silent film, like I said. But before that, there were just certain things that this film started films doing. So certain shots that you take for granted now, this is the first film to do it. Certain angles and certain traits of having a film, like maybe having a flyover. I don't know what they were, but so many things. This film was the first film to do it. So as much as the subject matter was despicable,
Yeah, but
looking at it from a filmmaking point of view, it's like you have to respect it. That's what everyone says. You have to respect the film.
there was some there's classic pieces in the film, like Stavros said, in the way it was shot, in the way scenes were shot, in the way you see certain things, in the way there'll be a tracking motion or anything like that. If you're a film nerd, and then you will know about certain things about shot scenes and so on and so forth. In that respect, excellent film. The story, different matter at all. Different matter completely.
So when my man did the film Birth of a Nation last year, and he made it about Nat Turner, which was the person that did the revolution during the slave and the uprising and killing off a bunch of white men before he got killed himself, he used the name Birth of a Nation as a play. It was 100 years after that film. It was 100 years after that film, and he did that for a reason.
I hope the director can do more movies, because I do know that they tried to shut him down.
They not tried. They did. Social justice warriors got onto
Yeah,
him.
They got onto him hard.
Yeah.
With
So
his the case that went to court and he beat it and what have you. I hope that he can come back and do some special things, man.
Did you remember what happened to Azalea Banks?
Someone slapped her.
Azalea Banks.
Yeah.
well, recently,
Yeah.
gone.
Apparently she got raped.
No
And
way.
the only reason why I know about it is because she did her Insta story couple of hours after it happened, and she basically broke down. No video, just audio, and she
When was this?
like, I saw it today, earlier on today. I couldn't even.
Azalea Banks is the white one, right?
No, the black one. That's the black.
black one.
Iggy Azalea is the white one.
The one that I said that has all the traits that I don't like about a woman.
the one that we were talking
but I
about
fancy her,
just the
yeah.
other day about her music and how kind of eccentric she is and blatant and
sorry,
you know rash that
Bruv,
she
she
is.
properly like.
That's sad.
And
Man.
then the thing that smashed it for me is that people in the comments are like, "Yeah, if that's what really happened, why would you come on social media? You're begging attention." Blah, blah, blah,
You see
blah.
and I bet you any money a lot of women were saying that.
There was a lot of both men and women. But the
But
point
anyway.
here is, if someone comes like that and spills something like that, why do you then start to criticize why their motive behind the thing and all the rest of it? Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like she had her face on there.
They did the same thing with my man last week or the week before when he got robbed, and he went onto the radio show and he said, "I've been robbed," and he was crying, and we were mocking him. Everybody was mocking him, and he had just been robbed. It's like, well, why would you go on the radio? Because he had a commitment and he kept his commitment, but he had been robbed at gunpoint and a couple of hours beforehand. So
I don't know, man. But it was so bad. The video is about 5 minutes long, and it's like she's
Just an audio.
it's an audio
man.
Insta story. But it was so bad. I won't lie to you. I got about 3 minutes into it. I couldn't listen to it anymore, man. Like it was so.
Was it descriptive or was it just her emotional?
No, it was a combination of her emotional, and she was like, like, you know, when you read about a person who talks about when it's happened to them, but it's happened like after years, they say, oh, yeah, you know, you kind of blame yourself and whatever. This was, because it was so raw, it was like only she had just come back from the party or whatever where it had just happened. Because it was so raw, it was like you could hear the desperation, the confusion, the anger, the disappointment, all of everything in what she was saying. So she's like, it's my fault. I feel like it was my fault. I feel like I was stupid. Like
I'm reading it now.
yeah, it just kind of just all of a sudden just happened out of nowhere, and I was at a party.
she's blaming herself.
Yeah, and because it's audio, you can hear.
But that's one of the first things you do, man. You do blame yourself.
No, it was painful.
In
I
situations
could
like that.
not actually finish.
She actually quotes them. I feel like that. I just feel so dirty and stupid right now.
Yeah.
You know me. We were just hanging out, and one thing led to another. I just feel really dumb because it was partially my fault. That's what she says on it.
And in the Instagram thing, but she said she's gonna delete all of her social media. She doesn't want want to go away. And brother, it was touching, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was bent out
She
of
needs to
shape.
be careful, man. That's a destruction of a human being right there. She's like, I'm gonna delete my social media and disappear. Who knows what might happen to her next?
Well, we just gotta hope and pray that our nearest and dearest and those closest
Stay
to her
close to her, man.
Yeah,
Keep-
exactly.
stay
Stay
with her.
close to her and help her through this harrowing time.
This is the thing, because she's gone through a lot during
To
her
get- yeah,
during
to
her
her
career,
career, to get where she is.
in the spotlight. She's been blasted by a lot of people, men and women. She's got a lot of hate, and she's broken down before on radio when she's talking about racial subjects, issues.
Yeah.
Like
exploitation and all that kind of
similar thing to what Jamal was talking about. We've always been exploited. And it's you can see that she's a very passionate person.
It was
so
you that sent that video of her, innit? I think she was on the Breakfast Club, I think.
Yeah, long time
Of
ago.
Azalea Banks,
Yeah.
a while ago, and she properly broke down, just like you said.
So I think it was Hot 97 actually, and
Mm.
she's a very passionate person in it,
Very
and it comes through in her music, and it comes through in how she deals with situations, which is why she seems a bit fiery. But it's because she wears her heart on her sleeve, and this is why she's put this thing out on social media. I don't know if she's gonna regret it later on, but I don't know. But you've knocked me for 6. I don't know what to say about this, man.
I would say it's nothing to be regretful for. You know, bad things happen to good people. But I would say if she's listening, by any chance she listens to our podcast, don't give up the fight. Don't disappear. Don't run away. You're a warrior, so you have to keep fighting. You have to tell your story, and you have to get it out there, and you still have to grow from this.
And that goes for anybody that's been through a situation.
Yeah, because
like that as well.
any survivor becomes a warrior for the cause, and you're there to make sure the next generation or the next person is empowered by you. So yeah, don't.
It's a lot to put on someone's shoulder, though. Man.
It is a lot to put on someone's shoulder,
But I think it's by default that happens if they get through it. That they tell their story and they try to help the.
It's not by default. Most people don't tell nobody nothing.
Yeah, and
I don't know, man.
those that don't tell,
No, the ones that
eats
get
them
through
up
it.
inside.
I don't know, man.
Nah, there's people. Remember, 1 in 3 women has been molested or raped. Yeah, 1 in 3, 1 in 3, 1 in 3. It's happened to them at some point in their life. Yeah, they're not going out and most people are not going out talking about it. They're not getting. They're not seeking counsel.
See, now, I'm not talking about when I say go out there and speak about it. I'm not just talking about media, social media, and the public. Some of these people grow up and, I would say in inverted commas, live normal lives. They'll have a child or children, and if they have daughters, for example, then that's where the protection comes from. You know, they would teach or try to feed information to daughters to try to avoid situations like that.
Maybe not. Sometimes it can backfire. Sometimes you see people, they go through some sort of abuse and they go down a completely different route.
Maybe not default then, but
so
I think there's many a women that have gone through that have tried to empower other people.
I can't speak for anybody. I just feel that
there's been women that have done that publicly.
Of course, but like it happens to so many people, and if it was so many women empowering other people and maybe it wouldn't happen as much.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know.
Because you've heard of mothers that are allowing their new boyfriend to do stuff with their daughters and stuff because they don't want to lose the man. Stuff like the daughters like, mummy, daddy, you know, this man that you have is so no. I'm not as optimistic as you are in regards to what happens when this type of situation happens. I think women blame themselves. I think they don't seek the counselling that they should. I think sometimes they're going into deep holes. I don't know for how long. And then even when they do get out the other side, they push it down. A lot of them, they just push it down and it just lays there. Yeah, and they'll hear a conversation like this and they'll speak up. Once, time is gone, they push it down again. This is not something they're going to talk about to everybody.
But it's because of we've got a long history of stigmatizing it. That's why in our society. So
do we?
Yes. No, we do. We have a long like the first thing that happens in our society, if a woman speaks of rape, what
were you wearing?
What were you wearing?
What were you drinking?
Like we ask her bare questions about what she did, and she's just told you. He's like basically saying to somebody, you know what?
What did you do to cause this to happen?
I just got robbed. If someone walks up to you and says, you know what, I just got robbed.
Was your wallet out?
Well, why were you on your phone? Why
was you walking showing your money?
Why are you walking around at night?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the case. All right, and I don't disagree with you there. That there's a lot of victim shaming when it comes to sexual abuse. In America, it's rife in the college campuses. So they give out rape whistles and stuff like that. It's just
it becomes, and sad thing is because they're giving that whistles, it's like almost then becomes part of the culture.
It's normalized.
Yeah, it's mad, man. It's mad.
As Wahala will call it, rape culture.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know,
I'm sorry for throwing that grenade in.
Yeah, you did, and the grenade has blown up the podcast. We're gonna have to end on that.
It's blowing up the podcast.
It's a deep note, but it's one I guess that we all have to think of. As men, we have to look at our peers, and if you know of any men that even look like they're going down that kind of road, you have to pull them up on it. Because we as brothers, we don't necessarily do our job sometimes. Mm-hmm. We hear people laughing and joking about certain things, and we need to be zero tolerance about it ourselves. And as women, if you're victims, then there are people out there that are there for you. There are numbers obviously that you can call, and but end of the day, you know what's best for you. If you feel that you can hold it down and keep it to yourself, and that's what you prefer, as much as what everybody will say, you need to share it, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. But if you have the inkling that you want to let it out, there are people there for you. There are lines that you can call, and there are friends I'm sure that you have. So anybody else got anything to say before we do our thing?
No, sir.
Simple Simon, don't depress me like that again, man.
I'm sorry, man.
No, for real. Now you go ahead. There's something I wanted to mention. Let me try and find the guy's name.
Just say the subject before the name then.
Okay. I'll say the subject. I can't find his name. But Mr. Yarba. Or Yerba, Mr. Yarba. I can't find his first name.
Okay. But
it's another man that was shot by police in Burstow, California. I saw the video. It was on a social media platform, which I didn't really expect to see something like that. He was in his car. The police were talking to him, and I think he was talking to them through his window in the passenger seat. I think they were asking for the driver's license and registration from whoever was sitting in the car filming. And the next thing you saw, that he was praying, please don't shoot, you know, with his hands up, and then pop. And they shot the man, you know, and just another victim.
So another unlawful killing by the police.
Another unlawful killing.
There's been a few of them. I actually left them out, but I collected
quite a few in the last week or so.
Yep.
That one there, I mean, like we mentioned yesterday, if people don't get it now about this organ harvesting or organ underground market that's going on, it's just the bottom line. Yeah.
Jumping on the back of that, sorry, it's not more morbidness. The gentleman that got shot 20 times but hit 8 times.
Yeah.
There was footage that came out now that the police turned off their body cam. They muted their body cams.
Muted it. Mute. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Well, they're all going to get away. They'll have gardening leave. They'll be able to go home, make a sandwich and make some dinner for their wives and go back to work in a couple of weeks. You know, it's a sad state. You know, we just got to stay prayerful and hopeful.
To be honest, I'm fed up of talking about it every week because, like I said, I had a collection of these incidents that happened. And then I'm thinking, okay, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how sad it is, how it keeps happening. And then next week, we're going to do the same thing. And then next week, we're going to do the same thing. And then what?
For me, it's part of it, or talking about it especially, is you have to remember that these people have to live on in memory, innit? We can't forget them. So it's all good and well that we lift up our champions, the MLKs, the Malcolm X's and all those people, but we can't forget the other people that are also in the fight. So you got to call their names, man. You have to remember them.
Understandable, but like what you guys were saying earlier on, when I was talking about England was built on some foundation many, centuries ago, and they just overlapping the foundation. And you, Simple Simon, said, at what point do you scratch things off and start fixing things properly?
I hear you. Yeah,
and this protesting ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, but I think
ain't doing nothing, man. But some people need to get shot down.
Action needs to take place, proper action. But talking about it,
I've been saying
talking about it keeps it alive. Keeps it in people's minds. So eventually they'll say, you know what? We keep hearing about this. Let us do something.
The guy's name is Deontay Yarber.
No,
by the way.
I'm telling you, when it comes to this thing in America especially, sounds weird, but I am very, very disappointed in the so-called gangs that run these areas.
But I'll tell you what.
Very disappointed.
It is written, and I'll tell you what, there will be an uprising. I don't know when, but the uprising will happen. Because there's a correlation between this, what's going on in Syria and the Far East, with China and all these kind of things. A madness is going to pop off, whether you want to call it World War III, some military coup d'etat or whatever. Something mad is going to happen. There's going to be an uprising in America, and probably simultaneously there might be a few missiles being flown all over the place, which will cause a war. So, I co-sign what Simple Simon is saying, 100%. That's why I had to find the guy's name.
I'm depressed, man. You know what? I saw an image today, and it was of a dude in a jail cell with all the lines on the wall. You know what you do? There's 4 lines, and then you scratch it with 5. Days. And he's reading a magazine, and it says weed is legal now, or weed is all good now. And the premise is that the man's obviously been put away for selling weed, and now they're legalizing it all over the place. It's like he's still in jail for something that.
And that's probably his third strike under the.
It's the same thing.
These people.
It's like
the Clintons.
Yeah. Anyone who says, "Oh, there's no such thing as systematic racism,"
of course there is.
I mean, look at it. Getting sent to jail. Yeah. Just getting killed in the streets, and the people that are killing you, even the civilians. So when who's that dude? Zimmerman. When he just killed dude, had audio footage of it. Like
Trayvon Martin.
The boy. He's a boy.
Just and he got off. It's madness.
And he didn't just get off, he was arrogant about it. But I'm kind of surprised that no one has popped him.
This is what I'm saying.
That's he's the one.
This is what I'm saying.
Very surprised.
And that's why I'm saying to you, I'm kind of disappointed in the Crips and the Bloods and all them
out there
talking about how hard they are and all this business, and then something like that's gonna happen.
They talk to the people. We fight amongst each other. That's the problem.
Madness. But on this cannabis thing,
Were you gonna try it?
No, I'm thinking, No, it just came to me just now. If Starbucks gets the license to sell marijuana, you know that they'll be bigger than Apple. real quick. It will happen really fast because they've got everything that you need. They got the
They got it all.
locations, they got the munchy snacks, and
No, that Amsterdam business.
it'll be done.
But do you think they'll let blacks in?
They'll finish it off. Joking.
On that note, then
They won't allow them to use the toilet.
let's do our church notes.
Can't roll up in the toilet.
And
our
they won't
goodbyes.
piss with focus, creating foam. One time.
Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitter, aka _Mr. Wolf, on Instagram, aka Mr. Wolf. One thing that I want to say, by the time that you have watched this, listen to this, watch soon, maybe.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, for real. Heisenberg's finest. The 3 episodes or the third part of Stephen Lawrence, Martin Lawrence, is on iPlayer. So go and watch it if you haven't watched it already. I've seen episode 1 and 2, and unfortunately I haven't been able to see the third one, but I will watch it. It is a documentary as to what happened, and if you think that you know what happened, if you think that you know the insides and what have you, you don't, because those 2 episodes are deep. You know what I mean? For example, I didn't know that his friend and Stephen Lawrence's friend and his mum, his parents, never spoke after it happened. Deep.
Wow.
Go and watch it.
That actor.
Not a word.
Yeah. Want to give a shout out to the Absent film. They have reached 104 people to donate money to their campaign. So well done to them, and people are still donating money.
Whoop, whoop.
So that's a big thing. So Absent film is in production phase. It's about absent fathers. There is a change.org petition going around. They've been to Parliament. More stuff is happening and growing. So shout out to Aisha Scott, Laurel Jones, and everybody else that part of the team.
You got details for the fund meeting on that?
GoFundMe page is change.org.com. Just check out change.org and all the details around absent will pop up.
Cool.
Simple Simon.
At Simple Simon FB on Twitter. That is my only social media handle. I just want to say this. If you die and go to heaven and I'm not there,
You are not in heaven.
you are in hell.
My
That's
throat is hurting.
By the way, it's the actor on Instagram and the actor on Twitter is DATACTOR.
Okay, I am Stavros Boss. You can catch me at Stavros Boss everywhere. And every week I have a segment called Stavros Says where I recommend something. And this week it is Amazon Prime.
Dun dun.
I think it's £79 a year. I think. Because I think I paid for it once. I don't think they even take money on my account. But I've been with Amazon Prime for about 5 years or so. And it's got many benefits. For those of you who don't know, Amazon Prime, the main thing they tell you is that it's free next day delivery on many of the items that you buy via Amazon. They trap you once you use it. They kind of trap you in it. You all of a sudden start going to Amazon for everything, even though you don't need to. But because it's coming the next day, so we needed that hard drive that I needed for the stuff to save all the audio. I got it 3 hours after I purchased it on Amazon.
That's mad. Because I was about to say sometimes it's same day.
Same day, 3 hours.
Yeah.
I bought it at 6, 9 o'clock. Ding, ding. I was like, wow,
Logistics is mad.
it's
mad,
big. Big. Anyways,
They got
I will
a thing
tell you
going on, boy, for real.
the other benefits that you have. You have Prime Video. So Amazon Prime Video is similar to Netflix, where it's basically the same thing. You have a bunch of films, you have a bunch of TV programs that you can watch, and that's inclusive in your Prime, and it's good. I know it's not as necessarily as good as Netflix, but they have their own big films now that they're producing. That Manchester by the Sea was an Amazon film, and that won the bloody Oscar. You know, the dude won whatever, the one of the brothers, whatever. So they have a bunch of stuff. They have some exclusives. They've got films now that are coming out at the same time on the cinema as they are on Amazon Prime. It's good. If you have Amazon Prime, check it out. You also have Prime Photo, which is unlimited photos. And so you can store all your photos. It's the same as Google Photos, really, but Google Photos is actually better. But you can also save 5 gigs worth of videos and documents as well. So if you have a company and you want to save some documents and you have Amazon Prime, you can do that. Twitch, which is the gaming streaming network, you're a member of that now. If you're part of Amazon Prime, you got Prime Music. Now it's not as good as Amazon Music or Spotify, but you do get a bunch of you get over 1 million free songs. It rotates around, and so I have an Alexa at home, and so I can just talk to it, and it will play the songs. Like my parents have Prime. I mean, don't have Prime, but they have an Alexa. So I'm so used to it when I come there, I'll say play this song, and they won't play it because they don't have Prime. But when I have it, it works. Yeah, that doesn't mean much. And the Kindle stuff. If you want books, you get free. You can borrow books free on your Kindle, also. So that's the thing. And also, check me at Stavros Boss. Inbox me if you want to know how you can get free audiobooks, because I know how to get free audiobooks through Audible, which is another Amazon thing. But I don't want to bait it up and put it out there. But yeah, so that book that we're all reading.
Children of Blood and Bone.
Yeah, man, I didn't have to pay for that thing.
Have you read it though?
Have you read it?
No comment. I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that actor.
I finished it now.
Alright, I'm halfway through. So boy.
Oh, you're joking.
I finished it.
Hold on, I'm waiting for Mr. Wolf.
I don't feel I'm gonna read it.
Yeah,
I finished it.
so I can take my time.
I finished that book, boy. My missus was cussing me for so
I'm
long because
reading
she finished
other
it time ago.
My missus has finished it, and now she's moved on to why I don't talk to white people about race.
Wow. Children of Blood and Bone, and why I don't talk to white people about race, damn it.
Can I just quickly say, Amazon Prime, we've just given you a massive plug. Think about endorsing us, yeah? Thank you very much.
You can also pass on the 1-day delivery to your bedroom. So I sent it to a couple of them. So once I have it, I can pass it on to 5 people. I actually took it away from you, didn't I?
No, I didn't get it.
The actor. Yeah, because
Yeah, you did take it away from me.
yeah,
Why
because
was that?
I did something else, and it said, well, you can't have 4 people, you can't have 5, you need 4, and I'll take you away. And then I was gonna give it back, and then it wouldn't let me give it back. Sorry, but you don't use Amazon anyways, do you?
I use Amazon.
I
I
gave it to my Children of Blood and Bone
I
book.
gave it to my sister. I gave it to my wife. You know, and other people.
Yeah.
I'm
If you
about
give
to
it to
order on
direct
Amazon
family.
right
You're the
now.
one that you've disowned me anyway. So you
How
can,
have I disowned you?
F off then.
Why? You go?
Rack
go.
off.
All right, so you can catch us collectively at ESN
Get off the
Podcast
farm.
on all your social medias. On Facebook, you can search for Eloquently Saying Nothing and find us there. When you are talking, use the hashtag ESN Pod. That is ESN Pod. I know a lot of you use ESN Podcast, which is fine. We'll find you, but it is ESN Pod. And we will comment, retweet, respond to your questions. For those of you talking on the SoundCloud page, I know we take a bit of time getting back to you, but thank you for the comments. We will holler back at some point. It's usually me or Wahala or Simple Simon. We'll get back to you at some point. And you can also send any questions or dilemmas or anything like that to our email address. It's esnpodcast@gmail.com. And you can talk to us there. Hello.
Allow it, man.
Hello.
It's long,
We
man.
do love Wahala. He's not here. He's on holiday. He's
Fun
trying
him,
hard
man.
to get
Wahala
through,
is
man,
trying to
bruv.
get through to us.
That's
The
my
dance
squaddy,
is
yeah?
done, bruv.
But can
The
you
dance is
imagine,
done,
man must be seriously bored.
That's my squaddy. That's my
Innit?
road.
Hello.
Oh,
It sounds like we're calling Nigeria, bro.
Are you finished?
We're just saying our church notes and our goodbyes now. I've just actually given the ESN
You what?
social. I've just given the ESN social media
Yo.
out now.
We're saying goodbye. Wahala.
Ah.
There's a delay, so keep it there. So say your thing then. So because I know you haven't missed the podcast this season, and I know you don't want to miss one. So
He's missed it, bro.
I don't want to miss no podcast,
You've
man.
missed it,
You've
man.
missed
I'm
it.
trying about thing.
where are you? Tell us what you're doing then before we go. Quick.
All right, man's in Marrakesh in it. So I'm in the hotel. Just left one wicked restaurant for the missus' birthday. So basically, I wanted to call the shout out one stop and say happy birthday to her. By the time this comes out the podcast, her birthday's already done gone. But happy birthday to her. And I just wanted to make sure I saluted all the man then because obviously I ain't there and it's confusing me not to be there. But I'm sure the podcast is gonna be fire. Even when I'm not there, I know the man them are gonna hold it down. But yeah, man, I had a wicked time in Marrakesh where I recommend Marrakesh for certain parts of certain things anyway. It was enjoyment.
The Browns have accepted you.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of blacks here still. There's a lot of blacks here. There's a couple mans in the hotel. One of them looks like gigs. So we've been calling them gigs for the whole hotel trip. He's trying, bruv, he needs a wingman though. There's 2 girls here that he's trying to ting with. Or he's trying to ting with one of them, but the other one's just always there in it. So he can't get through. I was telling the wife that I could wingman it, but she's not allowing me to do the thing. So I have to allow him to just go through it. I feel sorry for the brother.
Wahala, did you say that you just want to rub it into other people's faces that your man didn't take you away for their birthday? Is that what I heard
No.
you said?
No, I didn't say that. What's that got to do with anything? Everybody does their own thing, innit? Everybody does their own thing. Anyway, Maz is going to go listen to Killing Me Softly by some apps. I don't know who's singing it. Some random aunties or some band them. I was singing "Killing Me Softly" in the lobby bar. So I'm about to go have myself a nice drink.
All right, what's your socials then before you go as well?
All right, so at Big Wahala on Insta, at Big Wahala on Twitter. Big up yourselves. Laters.
All right, and on that note, peace.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you ain't saying nothing, say it well.
Slag for life.
Marrakesh bitches.
We didn't miss you at all, by the way. I just want you to know that like, that was a good cut off, actually. That was a good cut off.
What happened to him on the video?
It's true.
You get somebody.
That was a good one, man. That was a good one. Barring all the mistakes. Of all the weeks to go through the mistakes, I have no time to edit this thing. This is the worst one. No, it's cool because I thought we weren't going to have time to get through everything, but we got